Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, and welcome to the DK19 channel where it is a Saturday, which means it's time for just a teeny tiny touch more of that wonderful thing we call Dungeons and Dragons. It is the Saturday, which means it is the time of the Saturday Spiders. They are just about going to be almost heading home to the Silver Talon Adventuring Guild Hall, so that they can continue carry on with their initiation and induction into the Silver Talons Adventuring Guild. And because it's a Saturday, and we have the Saturday Spiders, that means that I'm joined, as ever, by a wonderful selection of people. First and foremost of those people, at the moment at least anyway, would be Pook, who's played by Westlaw.
Mr. Warren Gebetto Pook to Meppin, at your service.
And then swiftly following him around everywhere, not as swiftly as the third person I'm going to mention, we have Grogash, who's played by Badger.
Howdy ho.
And then the third person mentioned who follows him everywhere because of the tail and stuff like that. It's always good fun. We have Namir, who's played by Dakota.
Hi, everyone.
And she probably hates me right now, but I don't care because it's fun to wind the character up.
I actually, after you said, when you were introing Badger and you said you were following Pook everywhere, I thought you were going to intro me.
And then we have... thank you for that follow, Commander Root. Welcome to the Dungeons. And also, we have got, in the group, Nimriel, who is played by my good friend Ty.
Yo.
And last but not least, certainly not least, how could anyone forget the root of all the problems that the party tends to suffer from, Roland Hammer, who is played by Sean.
Hello.
Now, last session, you guys had a brush with the law. I think it's safe to say. It was interesting. With what happened, party? Where did it go wrong?
No, everything went fine.
It all started when the dwarf was born.
I think it all started when someone with apparent angelic history made a slight mistake with a prank they were trying to pull. Thank you for the host, baby.
Man, no mistake at all.
You fully overcooked the prank.
Responsibility. Everyone's just like, no, not me.
You fully overcooked that prank.
Yeah, just a little. It was more of a, I'm going to pull the pin out of the grenade and forget that the other lever bit pops off after that.
No, you're going to pull the tail out of the tiefling. There's no pins or grenades to this bullshit.
Alright, yeah, cool. Straight to the point then. Cool. Yeah.
Thank you, baby. I hope work goes well for you, my darling. Yeah, so you all, I'm talking to you. I've never called you baby or darling. I would tend to call you bitch for the most part.
I'll take what I can get.
I've often heard that. But yeah, so the last session, they managed to just about get out of that. I say just about, the dice were with them. Managed to get out of there without any major issues or dramas on that bit. I think that they. I like to think that maybe the party all got a slight understanding that maybe they can't quite 100% get away with everything just yet, and then possibly they're not quite that popular with the world at large. But who knows? As the time goes by and their campaigns go on and they get various amounts of reputation, maybe they will be able to get away with stuff by being the Thane of Whitehall. Whiterun, I should say.
Whitehall.
I corrected myself. I said Whiterun. I knew exactly what was going. What I meant. Now we also had to make a bit of a decision about what you guys want to do for your last day in Neverwinter before you head back to the Guildhall, because the idea is that by 5-6 sort of time, you should be heading back to the Guildhall. I just realised I've got no audio on this at the moment. Bear with me a second. I'll load up the game again. I haven't got it loaded on my other screen. Just suddenly become very aware of the lack of any background music. Do.
Oh, yeah, I need to turn on the background session.
And it should be on the right one. It is on the right one. I can then unmute it. There we go. Nice little bit of gentle background audio for us. So you are currently still in the city. It is up to you if there is anything you particularly want to do on this your last morning and day. Did you guys? I can't remember actually now because the rest of the sessions I'm doing were very distracting because they actually got into the dungeons and are now monitoring two things at once. Yeah, did you guys actually finish out your Saturday night, including any drinking and relaxation, or do you guys all have a nice, gentle evening? I'll be honest, the last thing I've got any notes for is Roland Hammer gathering some resources.
That was the last thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was last.
Okay, well that means that then you have indeed even got your Saturday evening if you guys would like to celebrate your last day in Neverwinter, if you are so inclined on that as well.
So are we leaving Neverwinter tomorrow?
You are leaving Neverwinter, or you must be on your way back to the guild hall by basically like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock sort of time, so that you can have yourself, you can get back to the guild hall. Everything gets basically you get all signed back in and everything for it. They make any note of any change they need to. They update all the records for it, and then you are assigned your examination slot. And like I said, I've let you know ahead of time that basically the way it's going to work is that your examination slot will then be like a week on from then. So you've got a week of prep time that we'll go through a bit more rapidly than the time in Neverwinter.
I put a lot of the treasure that we had in to my inventory. So I just want a bit of an update as to how much we still have. I know we don't have the small gold bracelets anymore because Nimir is wearing them on her horns.
Mhm.
But the rest of it, I would like to spend kind of the rest of the time trying to sell them. I think whilst we're in the winter.
Ooh. Also, what happened to the largest pelt? Did Grokash end up getting that?
Thought he turned that in.
No. He intended to go back and get it because he didn't get it, did he?
Oh
Talk
right,
to
yeah,
him in Park Job.
the massive pelt. Yeah, that one. No, that would still be there as far as you know.
Hmm.
So in terms of what I've got down is a silver ewer, engraved bone dice, 2 copper chalices with silver filigree, and a carved bone statue.
Namia would be interested in the dice.
Did anyone do anything with those?
No.
No.
I'm sure Roland Hammer thinks he can.
I'm sure Roland Hammer thinks he can. So, Mr. DM, where are we?
You are. I load up my things. It's being a bit of a turd and not opening up. There we go.
Blue Moon Inn, Baroque.
I got that reference. I'm a sad.
It's a shame that Westlaw didn't respond to it.
Nope.
You are still in the great city of Neverwinter. One would assume in or around a tavern somewhere.
Yep. I think we did go back to the Blue Stallion. Would I know that I have time to try and sell some of these items?
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
you've got a bit. You know you're going to have a bit of time on the Sunday anyway. I think you should still have some time today. It's like early evening, so there are still going to be some traders that are open.
Okay. But I think. So is everyone here with me? Are we like in the common room?
It's only
Namia's in bed.
It's only
Yeah,
Roland Hammer
we are
that's
too.
not in the what's the name, the place with you, the Blue Stallion with you, because he went off to go and do some trading of his own. He chipped off.
Right. Well, I don't know what your plans are, but Grokash, Nimriel, and Roland Hammer, I shall take my leave. I plan to sell some of our spoils, and then we can split the proceeds.
Nimriel's not there either.
Just talking to Gorokash.
Great.
Or
Just
Nimrod
looking
not
around,
there.
being
Why
like,
did you say this?
everyone else
Why
is-
did you not tell me this?
I said it along with Dakota, but I guess all the Dakota got hurt.
No, I didn't hear you say anything either. I think you may have forgotten to press your button or something.
I don't use one.
I don't know.
No, I
Well, there's your
heard
problem.
him.
There's your
yeah,
problem.
I heard him.
Don't go backing him up. All right. Just because you two been freaking hiding out up top with the in your little common room group thing that you've got up there.
We were coming to an understanding.
Yeah, that's what you were coming to, was it? Yeah.
Thanks,
I
Jack.
heard there was a pillow fight involved.
Was there?
There genuinely was a pillow fight involved.
Wait,
I don't know if it
wait,
qualifies as a pillow fight.
Right.
Yeah,
It
doesn't-
definitely qualifies
No,
as a pillow
it
fight.
definitely
You were
qualifies.
fighting with pillows. That is
I guess
like
it
the
wasn't
Webster
Revenge Pillow
Dictionary.
Snack, so-
It's
Let's,
like a Webster's Dictionary of it.
Let's retcon that.
Right, okay, right. Let's just double check this again, guys, because I think yeah, all right, okay. So we got Grokash is out, gathering up, or making some deals and stuff to get himself some steals. So we can make some weapons and armor later.
Right, so
Um,
it's just me then.
No.
Nimriel and
he said
yeah.
Grokash, but he meant Roland.
yeah, Ron here, Ron Harry. Nimriel and Namir. Sorry, I'm getting myself flustered with this because I'm writing stuff as well at the same time. Nimriel and Namir are in the Blue Stallion, but you saw them head up to their shared room. You saw them head up the stairs to the Blue Stallion, so you know that they're in the building. So if you want to try and reach them, you can do.
Okay. Grokash,
May involve some hammering on doors.
Go.
I plan to go and hit the markets to see if we can't sell some of our spoils. Are you staying here or are you coming with me?
I'll stay here.
Wonderful.
I'll give
I'm
you
sure you
the
have lots
help.
of pressing business.
I do not.
I didn't think so. Is there anything you would like me to sell whilst I'm gone?
Yeah, so I'll go and get the pelt for you.
Just throw it over him and like, cover him.
Yeah, exactly that. Just in one big
So
bundle.
how big is this pouch?
Well-
It's the pelt he's speaking of is the giant direwolf, the direwolf alpha that you were dealing with a couple of days ago.
Oh, you went with that. So it was big enough for a medium-sized person to like ride. At least it was like 20. It was
This thing is fucking
Gigantic.
huge, mate.
It was
yeah, it was like 4x4.
It was
How are you
it was
carrying
12
this
feet
pouch?
tall at the shoulder.
I didn't get. I fucked up the roll, so I didn't get all of it, unfortunately.
He fucked.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're flopping this pouch down in front of me, how big is it?
When I say in front of you, you mean on top of you? It would
that's what
cover
I did
you.
presume that. Yeah.
It would. Yeah, I mean that's a good question. How large is it exactly?
Well, the,
Like, I've
the
been imagining carpet like tiered.
okay. Well,
rolled
the
up
the
and
wolf
my shoulder.
the wolf is 12 feet tall at the shoulder.
Pretty fucking tall.
Okay, this thing is bigger than a horse.
Yeah, that's two
So would-
people.
Yeah, okay, so I'd have to carry it then
Covered two
too.
people, right?
Okay, I guess I'll go with you after dropping it in front of you and being like, "There you go."
What the hell am I supposed to do
quick-
with that?
A quick appraisal. I'll pick it up and be like, "I guess we're off."
Oh, much obliged.
Wait. Are you just assuming that you've managed to solo chip out into the woods, past the skeleton of a dragon that was being picked clean by orcs, go on your lost little journey to the den of the wolf pack, where there was a dead direwolf alpha and its puppy and the rest of the pack, and I'll just casually pick up the giant direwolf skin and chip back to Neverwinter again in the space of what, 20 minutes? You
What?
may have made a mistake in your
You
your
don't
assumption
have the
there.
hide. You don't have the
What?
hide.
I thought
You
I
did-
did.
No, you had the little one. You had the
All right.
little one.
Disregard the last X amount of time.
This is what I was getting so confused over. Thinking, like, what are they actually talking about? You turned
Welcome
in
to
the small
evening
one.
of retcon.
You turned in the puppy hide because you brought the puppy hide back with you. You turn that one in, and
Very
that was-
well. I'm gonna go. Instead, I'm gonna go cry in the corner.
The hide is a lie.
Yeah.
Can you scream in the corner instead? It'd be more dramatic.
No, I'm gonna cry. Sob even.
Right. Well, whilst you're over there doing that, I will make my way and see if I can sell some of these wares. Try not to cry too much. Pook will leave as emotion clearly makes him uncomfortable. And Pook is going to make his way over to the market.
Okie dokie. So what is it you've got with you that you're actually trying to sell? Because I know you had a number of things. So what are you actually trying to sell?
I think the thing that I'm probably going to try and sell first is the 2 pieces of kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? The silver ewer and the copper chalice. So the fine items. The fine metal items.
I just class it all as silverware, metalware.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Is there anywhere in particular in the market you would like to go to, or are we just going to see where you randomly end up? To a given degree of random, obviously. You're not going to like, oh, I want a fishmonger's.
I'm going to. Can I make an investigation check to see if I can kind of discern where the best place to go would be to sell it? There will obviously.
I think probably an insight roll might be a bit more suitable. I feel.
An insight.
Yeah.
Of course, the one that I have 0 on. Can I take 20?
So it's the last key.
Boosh, get fucked.
Yeah, so you've been around the city a number of times, and you've been into a number of the more well known to the party shops a number of times as well. And you figure that you probably actually be able to get a decent deal for these from Kazakhs, the dwarven trader in assorted fineries and knickknacks.
Okay then, I'll make my way to Kazakhs.
Okie. So there is the familiar glingle glangle of the door, chicken across the bell as it opens, and the shops. There's only a few people in the shop now. Normally, when you've been in before, the shops had like 10 to 12 customers in at a time, and fucking Badger Brony, Jesus Christ.
I'm not gonna let it go. Never.
we should never let Badger Brony go. Yeah, so there's normally in the shop when you've been in there before, there's been like 10 or 12 customers, and Kazakh, the familiar form of Kazakh the dwarf, as he's been moving around very politely from customer to customer, making sure everyone's okay. At the minute, there's only like 2 or 3 customers in the shop. It's clearly winding down for the day.
Okay, I will go and see Kazakh then.
He'll see you coming as you go. Oh, young Master Pook, how can I help you, my friend?
Well, I wonder if you couldn't appraise these for me. They've been weighing down my satchel somewhat, and so I wish to sell them.
When you say appraised, do you mean magical in nature, or is this just looking to get a value?
Unfortunately, it would be more interesting if they were magical, but just for a value, please.
Just a valuation? Okay, well, and he'll lead you over to the desk.
I'll pop the silver ewer and the... I always struggle saying that. And copper chalices with silver filigree in front of him.
Okay. So he'll pick up the ewer first, go over it, and get like he's got like a one of those jeweler's monocle sort of thing. I think it's called a loop, I believe. And he'll go over those. Oh, it's lovely work there. Elven, I believe, of some description. Not entirely sure though. Yes, and the chalices there. Well, there's no major marks or damages. They do appear to be a matched pair. I can't really tell if they were from a larger set or not. Let's see. Well, there. And of course, my overhead. Oh, yeah. I can give you 60 gold for all 3 of them as the set.
Could we make that 65 perchance?
Well, you're a polite chap, and you've done some good business with me, so certainly.
You know what? That was actually amazing.
Sounds like a deal. And I'll shake his hand.
Good, no problems there. Did you want to actually ask coin, or do you want one of the slips to take to the bank?
I think I'll take it as coin, please.
Okay, certainly. And he goes to his till point, as it were, and he comes back with a small pouch. And he just as he comes back over, you can see he's like counting the last few coins into it. He goes 3, 4, 5. There we go, 65, my friend. He
Wonderful.
hands it over to you.
Now, I'm a bit of a herbalist myself, and I was just wondering, do you have ingredients needed to make potions? Or would you know where I might visit to get them?
Well, in fact, that's not something that I actually deal with. In the city of Neverwinter, you actually need a permit to be able to deal with such things. It's part of the narcotics law that was signed into place 20 odd years ago. There was a lot of rampant alchemists going around that were making potions that really were not what they should be doing. But no, you'll probably find you better off actually having a chat with some of the alchemists themselves. They do sometimes sell off their spare reagents, things they have. Your other ways, you're probably be better off going out onto the market itself. There are some herbalists that have got limited abilities, limited permissions to sell certain items. You won't find things like you won't find some of the more rare things like basilisk's eye and that sort of stuff from them. But you'll find assorted types of roots and herbs.
Splendid. Very helpful as always, Kazakh.
No, you're very welcome, young man.
Bid you good evening.
Take care.
And Pook will, I think, make his way into the market, and I want to see if I can't find some ingredients to make potions of healing, which I've made before,
Yeah.
but not in game, if that makes sense. But previously, I've made them before.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the things where they're not that
Yeah,
tricky.
it's not
Yeah,
uncommon.
yeah.
So I'm happy for you to jump to someone else whilst I peruse the market, if you like.
Yes, we can do that. I think. Well, we know what Roland Hammer's been spending most of the day of his time doing. So let's say what Grokash is up to, because I can't remember what Grokash said he was doing.
He was pretty much just staying in and looking after Wolfie and trying to figure out how he's gonna.
Wolfie the goat, yeah.
Yeah. How he's gonna keep him along, like trying to make a back or chest harness that has a degree of protection for little Wolfie.
You say protection. I mean, you're looking like sort of like those covers that go over them for like keeping your baby out of the sun, or do you mean like you're trying to create a little armored capsule for it?
Well, both, but when he's like not armored in the sense of actual armor, but currently he's just like in a sack tied with rope. So like protection in the sense of making it like, oh, maybe I should use leather instead of cloth kind of thing.
Well, I mean, are you skilled in leatherwork? Is that
No.
He's capable
He's
of?
trying to figure it out. Like he's essentially
trying to
he's
figure it
not
out.
doing anything. He's sitting down and thinking, how do I do this? Because he's not the kind of person who can come up with a good idea immediately. So he's
Okay.
more or less just taking the time to think about how he's going to do it. Although an armored capsule is a good idea.
I think it's that part of Kingsman.
Yeah, it is. It is that scene from Kingsman.
I really hope he hasn't seen it.
Sounds
Like he hasn't seen it.
Does sound that way, yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, you. It's gonna be difficult for you to work this out if you're not at all skilled in that vocation.
Oh no, he'd almost certainly have to go and get someone to make it for him.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But before he gets to that, he needs to figure out what he wants him to make.
Roland. Just thinking. Let's just do just do an insight check, I think. In insight or just straight wisdom, your choice. You've got absolutely no idea how it would be done, and you're actually beginning to think that maybe you'd be better off just having him keep staying in that sack, because then if it becomes really dangerous, then you can just like cut the sack away, and you'll be free, you'll be safe.
That is a good idea. Done.
What about Nemea and Nimriel? I know that actually we know vaguely what they've been doing for this entire time up until the evening, aren't they? Well, actually even all the way up until morning, to be honest. That sounded that sounded much dodgier than it was meant to.
Nemia's pretty much just been resting like since she got there, and like the conversation they have, it's probably in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
And then,
it is.
sleeping
It's
for the rest of the day, the
yeah.
rest of the evening. So she'll just wake up in the morning. She's got plans Sunday though, as long as her parts aren't falling off.
Well, there is that. Okay, let's go back to Pook then, who you've been looking around. Are you just I mean, it doesn't take too much searching around. You'll be able to, you can find a where there's a few herbalists and horticulturists that are selling various flowers for and things which are like, buy these flowers because they're beautiful flowers that brighten up your home, and some others like, buy these flowers because they're medicinal properties. Buy this kush, buy this skunk.
Good evening.
Hello there, young man.
I'm looking for reagents for general healing potions and tinctures. Could you help me?
Oh, well, see now in my stock here, what have I got? All sorts of... What sort of healing potion are you looking to make, young man? Because there are varying degrees of potency and varying, recipes and origins for healing potions. Is there one that you have in mind?
Yes. I would like to make some greater healing potions.
Greater healing potions. Well, that's going to be a bit more of a tricky thing. I don't know as I actually have any of the herbs. I've got the base herbs for it. You may find, he says, flicking through his book, you may find you'd be better off talking to an actual alchemist, as they very, very heavily police what herbs and such are available for general sale on the street, as it were. And a reputable salesperson like myself would not be caught dead going beyond the realms of their permit. No, sir, not at all.
And of course not. I wouldn't expect you to breach your permit, but what if you weren't caught?
Well, I'm not entirely sure I catch your drift there, sir.
Never mind. What do you have the base reagents and such required for general healing potion? Standard.
The vendor does. I can't find my list of potion reagents. I don't know where the fuck it's gone.
That's why I threw the dodgy guy at you.
I mean, I'm happy just to buy them.
Yeah, well, we just go with that. So, because if we go with a potion themselves are 25 gold pieces, aren't they? So he will sell you the reagents that you need to craft one of those potions for 12 gold.
Shit's
Okay.
expensive.
I think then what I will do, presuming that I've gained 10 gold from the sale of those items, I will buy enough to make 3.
The 36 gold then. No, I am wrong on that bit. Potion of healing is meant to be 50 gold. Actually, no, yeah, it still makes sense to do that, but yeah. He'll do you a deal. 3 potions worth of reagents for 30 gold. He'll do you a deal on that.
30 gold. Wonderful. Have you ever wandered outside your permit before? You sound like someone who may at least know of other proprietors who may have done.
I believe that is a very rude thing for you to say of a noble and honourable trader such as myself.
I meant no offence. I just meant that we're in a large market. Surely you must know there are people who have done so.
I would pay no attention to such scoundrels, sir.
Gladly, yes. And you say 30 gold.
30 gold will get you enough there to make 3 of that potion.
And so you wouldn't pay attention to the scoundrels that perhaps step outside their permit.
Why would I want to be paying attention to them, sir? They draw horrible, horrible eyes of evil government types down on this place, and just all sorts of trouble that really should be avoided.
Absolutely. The eyes of the government when it comes to practicing intelligentsias like yourself and myself, just unnecessary and bothersome, don't you agree?
Certainly. They should just keep to themselves and wait for the taxes to come in, and everyone will be happier.
Absolutely. Now, I would presume, and perhaps I'm wrong, but I would presume that the fact that you wouldn't pay attention to them means that you know they exist, yes?
Well, no, I would just only assume such a thing because there is in every city a criminal element, and it would not take that much of a stretch of the imagination to think that they are somewhere not too far away at all times, like rats.
Yes, very well. Well, I'll tell you what then. It's a deal done. 30 gold pieces it is.
And he hands you over a bundle of assorted herbs.
Pleasure doing business with you, and of course, depending on the nature of the preparation of these potions, I should be happy to spread the word of your proprietary.
Thank you very much, young man.
Oh, I presume these are of the highest quality.
Well, I would not be selling them if they were not.
It's worth it to check. Prudence pays, as I'm sure you will agree.
If they are not of a high enough quality, then I do not sell them. I have a reputation to uphold.
Let's hope it is. Good day to you, sir.
And you.
Yeah, so I think Pook will now make his way back to the Blue Stallion for the night.
Canucks?
Did you like that, Sean?
There you go. I found the thing I was looking for.
Well, it didn't break any healing potions, but I do have a wonderful salad dressing.
No, I was looking for the thing that's like carrots and celery and onions, mirepoix.
Oh, casual racism in its fighting.
Racism where?
It's D&D. Racism is contextual.
Yeah, shut up, you big man, human.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
He's short like you.
No. He's shorter than him. He's a gnome.
mean,
He's a gnome,
What's
Ron
his
Ham's a
name?
dwarf.
Up?
So, on returning to the Blue Stallion, is Gregor still crying in a corner?
No, he's
He's manned
sitting
up.
with Wolfie. Just playing with him.
Okay, so Pook will walk past him on his way to his room. An evening well spent, it seems.
Yarp. Gives him a
Wonderful.
little head rub.
Good evening. And Pook will make a way to rest.
Where's Roland at?
I think timeline-wise, he's probably still doing his walking and selling and.
Yeah, he's
trying to
I imagine he probably would be heading back to the tavern by now, because the last thing he knows is that he's still down on the waterfront at the minute. Or last we saw of him, last we heard of him, I should say, in Harbin and Groats. And he's just arranged for there to be a large shipment of 350 pounds of steel, weapons grade steel, to be sent to Dunsted's, and it's due in about 3 weeks' time. Awfully quiet.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wouldn't probably... I don't know how long that took, but assuming that Pook's done his thing, come all the way back, I would probably be on my way back.
So you're going, just to confirm, you're going from the waterfront to the Blue Stallion, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we can do that then, which means that it will be coming up to the evening, and everyone will be at the Blue Stallion. If you guys do want to be heading out on the night, heading out on the town tonight, it would Nimriel and Nemia will not be out on the town because of reasons.
I could have worded that.
Well, actually, to be fair, yeah, Nimriel could go out in the town. Nemia won't be though, I don't think.
Well, no. Never mind. She's asleep too.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
You want to go out and get pissed on your last night in town?
Mm-mm.
You sure? 100%? Find yourself some more of that blackberry wine?
Definitely not her. No. She probably will come back if she even comes back completely on another plane.
Does
Mentally.
anybody want to do some carousing tonight?
Fuck no.
You put everybody off.
I don't know.
You've seen what can happen. Your party you can fall apart.
Let me just load up the list of the carousing,
Nope.
just in case. Just in
Nope.
case.
Everybody run. He's got a gun.
Oh no, that's the list of lingering injuries. Don't want that, or do we?
Ron ever goes out for a night of carousing and loses his arm.
That would be...
Oh, Greg actually did a wisdom saving throw, which I think is Badger deciding whether or not he wants to send his character out for the night.
I actually don't know why I clicked that.
It's too late, mate. You're not going back now.
But sure.
Mm.
But sure.
Wait, don't say that. Don't let him have you.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't that, but I mean,
I mean, no, you don't have to go out on the lash if you don't want to.
I think I want to go out.
You want to go out?
Wait, a good roll is wanting to go out.
By the way, if it's a self-imposed role, you can decide whether
Yeah.
a high roll or a low roll is and what it means.
Yeah.
So I'd probably try and convince Brooke, actually. If he's
Oh,
the
dear.
only person left in the bar at the time.
Well,
do that.
Pook will be in the Blue Stallion as well. Pook is there as well.
Well, then I'll try and convince Pook as well.
Pook's in his room studying.
No, so Pook's not
Alright,
in this.
okay,
He's not in
okay.
he's not in the main room then. Okay, so let's have from each of you then a D100, and we'll see what happens to you guys.
Motherfucker, you may be in ball pieces because the one I rolled was really high.
Yeah, Gorkash is fucked. Well done. Oh, Badger, switch your Av section to Gorkash.
I'll do that.
Doesn't
Does
make
that,
too much
does
of an
that
impact.
reset?
No,
Shouldn't
no,
do.
it still uses your character sheet. She's set to that, but
No, but I mean, like, because I've done that before, and I don't remember changing it back.
no. Don't know. Maybe it does, but it shouldn't.
Hmm.
Maybe when you wipe your browser data.
Right, so that's.
He did the same laugh when I fell into pieces. Same laugh.
I swear to God, if Grokash falls into pieces too.
It's alright. I did a similar laugh when someone woke up with some rednecks.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't even mind. I don't think I'd even try and fix it.
Lay there in pieces like, I've never been so chill.
What can you
I-
say off of an orc though?
I'd be running into battle, and as someone like cuts me in half, I'd be like, "That's fine, it's fine." Just pick myself back up.
That is until they snatch a part of your body and just leave. And never come back.
Just like
Right.
chop
I
your
was-
arm off and then have
I
a
was-
mechanical laugh.
I don't even know if I can read this one out. I'm just gonna send it. I'm gonna send it to
No.
Grokash first.
No.
I'm just gonna send it.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm so excited.
Right. Would you like to explain to the party how on your Sunday morning you wake up?
What is that word? Just a second. I need to look this up because I've never seen that. Oh, Jesus. Of course. Okay, that makes sense. Yes. Yes.
Sorry,
I'll tell you
bro.
what. I'd actually not like to tell them what happens. I want to walk back wearing
Okay.
what I'm wearing.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we can do that. We'll
Like I am.
we'll carry on. We'll carry on with that bit. Right. But I'll say how Roland Hammer wakes up. So on the Sunday morning, Roland Hammer, you wake up in a bed. You're very clearly you're in an inn or a tavern somewhere. It's not one you recognise, probably one you haven't been to before, or certainly not been to one of the rooms of before. So it's one where you may have been drinking there, but not necessarily having stayed there. There is a stranger sleeping softly next to you, underneath the covers. As you can just like see the covers just rising and falling slightly. What would you like to do?
I'm going to pull the covers back.
There is a pig. It's still sleeping.
Okay,
Amazing.
right, I've got... This is my famous last words.
That'll do, pig. That'll
Okay,
do.
okay. So,
What's a girl like you doing in a place like this?
did I buy you breakfast first? No. So I'm gonna find like something to put around its neck and make like a rope.
Oh my God.
Well, you've got your belt.
Walk all over again.
Excuse me?
And then I'm gonna slowly and surely kind of like edge it out of bed. And then
Okay,
jump
wait.
on it in the last second.
So there is a clattering and a banging as the pig wakes up. You're on the back of this pig now. It's like you're trying to ride a pig in Minecraft, but you haven't got a carrot on a stick. It's just all over the room. It is a massive amount of noise going off. And after about 5 minutes, the door gets booted open, and there is a incredibly hairy, swarthy, half-naked dwarf with a very almost like bright ginger beard and hair on his chest and arms. He looks a bit like a Fraggle.
Jesus.
What are you doing to my pig?
I'm gonna like totally ignore that. I go, don't worry, I've got it. Come here, me get this. Stuck out of my bed.
Alright, I need a disadvantaged dexterity saving throw from you, please.
Oh shit.
Oh, yes. See if you can get 20 again.
You've just been hit very cleanly in the head by a thrown candlestick. Like one of those solid metal-based ones.
Oh no, the bloody pig, get
I
it!
think you may probably have been knocked off of the pig, my friend.
Right. So it's not just a candlestick; it's a big candlestick.
Yeah,
Not
it's
just
like you know,
a-
like the big heavy metal bass type things. Is just like it's sort of like dunk. That's it, like stunned you for half a second.
So,
The
yeah,
pig,
the screaming still applies, but less erratic.
yeah, the pig scarpers out the room, and hides cowering behind the dwarf.
Probably mumble something about it not cowering when it was in the bed.
Oh.
Mate, I've got no shame.
The dwarf is going to walk up to you. He very, very easily able to pick you up, basically like by your throat, essentially.
Nice.
You are not welcome in this tavern
Oh
anymore.
my word! Again.
I didn't do anything.
You do not play around with another dwarf's pet pig.
I'll look at him
And
like, dead in the eye,
will
like,
launch you out of the already broken window. You only go down about like 12 to 18 feet. It's enough that it knocks the wind out of you. You do like the classic thing of like lying on the ground like "Ah!" for a moment. And you are thoroughly embarrassed. You take 70 points of damage to your dignity.
Are you sure?
No, you're that. You have no dignity anyway. To be fair, and yeah, chill. You can post the link, man. I've got mods enough around available that if you're misbehaving, it will get taken care of. Not that I think you will do. What we got here?
So yeah, I'm just gonna stand up, brush myself off, just make the note of yet again another place where I've been kicked out of.
It is the Rolling Jade.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Now you
Alrighty.
can't go back to the dwarf pub.
That GIF isn't loaded for me properly. It's just coming up in the homepage of Giphy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make my way back to the Blue Stallion. Very confused and
Slightly hungover.
slightly, yeah, but bemused as well. I reckon.
Yes. And
Oh no, loaded for me.
possibly
There-
bruised.
There's a guy with a bottle of beer in hand running a pig down the path.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is, yeah. Jesus, that's definitely Roman, man. Just with long legs.
There we go. Yeah. That'll do, pig. That'll do. So just for the benefit of any audience who may be interested, this is Roland Hammer at the minute. Just chipping along on the back of him. Well, that was him. That was him in the bedroom.
What are you doing on my pig?
Like I knew I could tackle it better, but everything he moves like just grab the pig, just grab it.
Why? See a pig, grab it. Sorry, because your options were goat, pig, and miniature donkey.
It doesn't really matter which one it was. They were all
Not
getting
gonna lie,
grappled.
I was hoping for miniature donkey. Not gonna lie. But yeah, so it's quite early in the morning. You're looking like 7:30 in the morning still. So there's quite a bit of a hustle and bustle in the city, from people who are travelling out to their stalls and between their shops and things. And like there's porters running back and forth with their hand carts. Yeah, so you can head back to the booth stand without too much of an issue. And everyone else, I think, is almost everyone else is waking up in the Blue Stallion. I think, Grokash, you're probably going to be waking up at about 9 in the morning, probably.
Nimriel will actually get up in the morning. Quite early, because that was a good rest.
Same with Nemia.
Everyone coming down for breakfast, are they?
Yeah.
The first thing Nemia's gonna do is once Nimrael's walked out of the room, she's gonna try and pull her other pinky fingernail off.
How hard are you trying?
Comes off
well,
anyway.
It didn't take a whole lot of effort to pop things off, so she's gonna start with minimal effort.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's going to come away.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say that was a 1. Let's bump it up to a 3.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's coming away or anything at all.
Okay, she's gonna bump it up to a 5.
Okay, do you want to give me a strength roll, please?
Oh dear, okay. I didn't have my character sheet loaded. Strength roll or saving throw?
Well, you can either give me a strength roll or a constitution saving throw.
Nice.
As you go to keep on putting in a bit more strength behind it, you realise that if anything, you're probably going to actually just rip your fingernail off at this point.
So, if everyone's downstairs, I guess aside from Grokash, they'll hear a hoot and a holler, very excited sound, and like a jumping of hooves on the floorboards. But it's
just
quick. and
you're going to
fast.
give PTSD to Roland Hammer. Because that's what he's just heard in the morning. It's like clattering around the room.
It's like shivering. It's not
I imagine Nimriel heard that going down the stairs, right?
Yeah, most likely.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a happy sound. But it's a quick yay, and then like a clop, 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 and then she's done.
It just sounds like an excited horse. Yay!
Clop, clop, clop.
Clomp, clomp, please.
Listen, I can't make hoof noises. I don't have coconuts.
It was the yay hoof noises.
Where did you get those from? Oh, African swallows, maybe?
Oh my word, I love it. It's amazing.
Food.
So Sunday morning for the party. As I think it'd be, as you're all enjoying your breakfast, Roland Hammer would have come into the tavern. So Roland Hammer's entering the tavern from the external door. Everyone else is entering the main hall, I should say, from the external door. Everyone else is entering the main hall from like the stairway. And whilst you're sitting down to actually have your breakfast, it's probably about the same sort of time where there'd be another person coming in through the door. Don't you think, Grokash?
Yeah, so as he comes through, so he's wearing his normal gear now, but you might notice that there's like feathers, just like in random places, like in his shoes or like dragging along, attached to his like glove. His face, unbeknownst to him, is actually covered in some sort of like white makeup with like rouge on the sides. He's got Wolfie with him, and he's actually cleaning Wolfie's face because Wolfie's got the same gunk just over him. Yeah, and he's with one of his hands, he's kind of like massaging his leg or his like butt because it's quite. He seems to be limping, a bit sore.
Okay.
He looks like a bit of a case.
An immediate observation. What does that look like to Nimriel?
The biggest thing you'd see is his face is white with red on the cheeks.
He's got like he's got like
makeup.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
he looks
It's
like
makeup.
that. He looks like the classic like circa 1900 French whore sort of thing.
Oh dear.
He looks
Maybe
like
I'll
he
just
looks
drop
like he
that
belongs
red
on the stage of Chicago.
Have you seen Blackadder?
Only bit said I.
Are you
Oh,
about to
yeah,
say he
I'm
looks?
sure
You
that's
about to say he looks like George?
He looks like George, except in all.
Alright, I'm gonna quickly. I'm not having this.
It looks like when George was going on stage for the talent show. Is specifically the example of George we're talking about. I feel.
But
God.
yeah, he doesn't actually realize that that's on his face. But Wolfie looks the same, if not, but more goatee.
Well, yeah. Nimriel's looking at you like you're missing your fucking eyebrows or some shit, some weird shit. You look
No,
weird.
they've just been put foundation over them. They're still there.
She's looking at you real weird, like, and her mouth has just stopped moving. She's not chewing anymore.
I'm just gonna sit down and ask for the tavern owner to bring me some sausage,
Where did you sit?
just with you guys.
Yeah, she's still staring. Like, she's like staring at you in like one of the rudest ways you can think of. She's just staring straight at you like you're a pimple.
Looks like you had an amazing time last night, Grokash.
It was great.
Should I read out what it actually said?
Sure.
So Grokash woke up in the communal lodge of a sororal order. He is wearing feathers, lace, and full face of makeup. Buttock is sore and bears bruises on it in the same shapes as the cutouts on the paddle hanging above the fireplace.
Oh, you were hate.
Yeah, okay, you know what? Nimriel's gonna lean over the table and very rudely just lick her index finger and then smear it down his cheek and then look at her finger.
How very dare you?
Do you not? Is there anything on her finger? Or
Yeah.
Is this shit like fucking cement? What is it?
No. You basically you've got you know what it's like when you
I'm thinking like batter.
yeah.
I'm sorry, that's what I'm thinking of.
It is not pleasant. It's clearly been overly
note-
overzealously applied.
On that note, she's gonna brave it and just press the very tip of her tongue against it, see what it tastes like. Gonna assume that tastes like shit.
It tastes basically like clay.
What is this on your face? She points her finger at him.
So at first, Grokash gets fairly agitated at you having just wiped your finger on him. But as that like scene unfolds and he can see the crap on your finger, and then the question, he immediately just puts Wolfie down on the table and goes upstairs to fucking sort his life out.
You've put
Look
down
very beautiful.
you've put down a baby goat on the table, just like
Nemia will.
I
yeah,
have put
that's-
down a
that's
party
definitely getting
member
grabbed.
with the rest of the fucking party.
Yeah, as it's quite clear, I think that Nimril and Namir will both kind of grabbing at that if that happens, since Dakota was just about to say the same thing.
Animal.
It suits you, Badger.
So, and as they call that out, he's gonna like growl.
Is there still some on the fucking goat?
Yep.
Well, I guess they'll just, I don't know, Nimril will continue trying to get that off the goat.
So yeah, I'm just gonna go up and like, I guess, not shower, bathe, or wash my face, or goddamn. sort my life out.
there's washrooms and stuff.
I was actually going to ask about that. Oddly enough, now that we're returning back to the guild, taking an actual bath, because, I mean, not that it would be assumed or not, right? None of us
Yeah,
have
yeah,
actually
yeah,
had
there-
one,
there-
or we've been out in the world.
There are
Twice.
washrooms and stuff available. You'll be fine.
Yeah. So who's actually here now then? Is Pook in the corner, or is he still upstairs?
I've come down for breakfast.
Alright, good.
Nemia's just happily chewing, and she says, "I've got plans today. Aren't OOC? Aren't we supposed to pick up our shit today?
Your stuff will be.
Tabards and stuff."
No, that's all going to be sent to the guild. It's going to be sent to the guild
Oh,
hall.
okay. Well, okay. So she says, I've got to go to the armorers to check on my tail armor. I've got to go to the jeweler to check on my string. I'm going to go see Darius for more patience. And she didn't say it like that. What are you guys going to do?
History check. Nimriel aware that where that armor came from, or more specifically, did it come from the same place, Pangolin side?
No, you don't need to do a history check or anything for that. Yeah, the Pangolin's hide is the armorer that you guys have all been going to.
Okay.
It's very nearby True Strikes, which is the weaponsmith you would all be going to. They're the places that have the pre-existing arrangements with the Silver Towers.
Okay. So Nimriel will respond then. Nice. I will go with you. If you're going to Pangolin's hide, I want to make sure that my armor is going to the guild today.
That works for me. Pook, did you want to go to that place to see about a robe?
I believe I already have my robes made.
Were you having some clothing
you
made
mean
at the?
spider silk?
She nods.
Well, I suppose as it's our last day, I'd better really. Yes. Are you heading in that direction?
I don't actually know where it is. I'd have to ask around and also look in my notes for what it's called.
Oh, whilst we're all here, I did sell our proceeds, and we have 15 gold pieces each. And Pook will hand out the gold pieces. You're welcome.
Nimriel will take hers with thanks.
How much did you say it was? I'm sorry.
15.
Okay.
Roland Hammer will over. Roland Hammer will over energetically take that.
Thank you.
So you say you are heading towards the Cloviers then?
Well, I've got to go to the merchant district, and it's in the merchant district, this cloth place, the Sofina's. I think it's called Silken Strength. I remember her name. And we can ask around when we get to Pangolin's hide. Although we're going to hit Darius's first.
Oh, lead the
She
way.
points a finger at Roland Hammer.
What? I didn't say nothing.
Just making sure you remember.
Make sure you stay away from Darius.
Who's Darius?
Your best friend, obviously.
Well, I might have made another.
Can I ask a question? Can we smell that? Can we smell that? Like, seriously, if he's been laying in a fucking bed with a pig. I know people say pigs actually try to be clean, but, I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, it's Roland Hammer, your dwarven ranger.
Right, say no more, he already stinks. I take a hint when I see one.
So who's your friend?
Her name's Sui.
Yeah, her name is Starlet. No, I'm basically gonna like. So you know the Dwarven Tavern?
That's where we met Drogo, right?
Aye, the very one. Yeah, I can't go there. Never again.
All right then. She'll stuff some bread in her mouth and stand up. She's done with that conversation.
No more questions asked. Like, okay.
Right, so Nimriel, Namir, and Pook are all planning on heading to the market, yes?
Yep.
What about Grokash?
So he's going to start making. So there's two big things. He's going to start training with Wolfie, so that Wolfie can essentially learn to run away or return on command.
Okay.
So just training in general.
Okay. And what about Roland Hammer? What are his plans? Aside from making the right pig zero things.
Funny guy.
Low
I'm
hanging
gonna
fruit, mate.
I'm gonna follow the group, but not go in Darius's show.
Okie
I don't remember where she went. I'm looking through my notes. I don't remember where she went to get jewelry, but that's on her list to stop where that is.
You went to
feel like I wrote that.
Jenkins Jewelries. It's just down the road from Rashid's Fine Apparel. Or receives fine tunics. So, let's give Ty an opportunity to get back, and we'll start off with Grokash, who's going to be training his goat to run away and return on command.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Primarily the runaway.
Okay, so is this what you're doing until it's time to leave, or you got something else planned as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Oh, you just give me an animal handling check then, please.
Roger. God. I don't think I have animal handling trained. Oh no.
Our obsession with animals in this group.
No! That's the second crit. No!
Can you tell what's going to happen?
I'm gonna go after him. I'm not leaving this city without Orphe.
So,
Orphe, come back!
you're spending a few hours with this little goat kid called Wolfie. You're training him to run away and return, and run away and return. So he's basically what you're doing is like you're running like 5 to 10 feet away, and then like signaling for him to come after you. And he's like, as you go to like move away, he's like following you each time. So you have to like try and come back. And it's like, no, stay there. And then you're trying to teach him to run back and forth. And eventually he gets to the point he's not listening, and you go all orky and scary to make him run away, and he does with great aplomb, and disappears into the crowds.
Oh dear, what did I come back to?
He rolled a nat 1 on his animal handling to try and train the goat to run away and return on command, so it ran away.
You know, Badger, you really should do that shit when Nimriel's around.
Well, I'm going after him, obviously. It's okay. If need be, I'll burn this fucking city to the ground.
Oh, holy shit.
Right, well, let's see how good you are at tracking a baby goat over cobblestones and stuff. Let's have a survival check from you then, please, friendo.
Sounds like you could use a ranger.
What
That's stealth.
fuck is that?
That's not.
Why is that stealth? Oh, it's above survival. Ha!
Yeah, so you can carry on going through the city, and you keep seeing it, but you're chasing off after this little goat, and it's just running further and further through the city. You are now in a Benny Hill movie.
I'm also yelling for people to pick up or stop the fucking goat. Stop that goat!
Okay, fair
Somebody-
enough. You're now in a Wacky Races cartoon instead.
Catch the wolfie, catch the wolfie.
Every now and then, just the goat just turns around, looks at you, and goes, "Hoo!" In that way that goats do.
I was good enough. What the hell was that?
Have you never seen the goat scream like that? The goat with the human scream.
Yeah. I have.
It's
trust me.
amazing.
I just don't want to scream on your stream.
The goat with the human scream.
Pretty creepy shit.
Orphe, come back!
I want to see if I can find the goat's human scream sound now.
Orphe.
Oh no, here we go.
I think it's safe to say though that with you needed to get a crit in order to catch the wolf, because it on a nat 1, this little
Fucked up.
toy goat sized creature thing, this little furry thing that's about the size of a chihuahua, is just. And because it's a goat, it's quite able to like jump across stools and walls and things, and that's it. It's this thing's just Assassin's Creed in its way away from you. You'll have to find another baby goat.
Fuck that. I'm just never gonna stop.
You're just gonna keep on trying to chase down.
You can't just when your pet fucking is lost, you don't just give up and get a new pet.
Yeah.
The pet that you've
Get a
had
new fucking
for
what a
like
ridiculous notion.
all of a day.
Wait, where does he go with this? Do we hear it? Do we see it? Come on.
I think you would see him. You just see this vaguely familiar shape of a still slightly befeathered Grokash
Oh my
chipping
God.
through the market stalls, probably knocking things over, screaming, "Stop the goat!"
Can Nimrio join in?
Does she want to?
Go full beating
I
him.
mean, she wants to know, and if it's animals, she's definitely going to help. I'll try
And
to.
Mia will not be joined.
Sure, Nimriel can join Grokash in the chase for the little baby goat.
Do we have to throw anything, as in make a roll to see if we can see the goat?
Well, in fact, you didn't start with the chase. Yeah, you would need to, I suppose. I mean, like you've seen him going. Yeah, let's have a perception roll then. See if you see the goat chipping by us, or if all you're seeing is Grokash making a mess of the market area of.
Holy shit!
My boy.
So Nimriel, you can hear Grokash chipping through the market, but you can't see him chipping through the market.
Oh, this was for Grokash.
I just think like with the Nat 1, I'm thinking like, okay, well you definitely can't see the goat. Like, yeah, no.
Oh, then she's staying with the Mia.
We'll do a minor retcon. You've heard Grokash screaming about a goat, and various other people just shouting at him. Yeah, so you can hear Grokash screaming about a goat as he's running through the market. You can hear his voice running through the market.
So then she's going to just stand still and just wait and see if she can hear it again, or if she can.
Oh,
tell
no, yeah. He
anything.
basically
With a one, that's
he's
pretty shit though.
he's kind of like shouting all the time, isn't it? It's a busy market. It's difficult to see someone's face.
What should I do? Like roll a d8 for direction and try walk in a direction and see if. Yeah, like what should I do?
It's up to you really what you want to do in that regard, and then we'll see what you need to roll anything else for it.
I didn't actually reference any directions.
No,
Did
you didn't. I mean,
I didn't mean to press it. I was supposed to pick it up.
technically that would be due east. Technically,
yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah.
because normally you start with north, so
One,
that would
yeah. Yeah, I go that east. She just starts moving.
You're
east from
just
there.
gonna head east through the market. Okay, so we're splitting the party. Good to know. What was Rollenhammer doing?
Seeing if I can see the goat.
Oh yeah, so with the your 22 perception, you're close to the ground, so that's why you can see the goat.
Bonus.
As
Can
as
I
it's,
hunter's mark it
Yes.
and not tell anyone?
in theory, yes.
Well, I mean, technically, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
It's not going to hurt it or anything unless you shoot
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And I mean, if you shoot it, it's dead regardless.
Yeah, you can hunters mark this little baby goat as it's chipping through the marketplace. It is basically it's doing that amazing thing that goats do, where they can, that video of like the little baby goat that's just absolutely going ham, charging around the farmyard, like jumping off its brothers and sisters and shit.
Yeah, it's been epic.
It's
and
doing
Grokash is
that.
not.
It is doing goat core. Absolutely, it's free goating all the way. And it's like it's even getting to the point of like where it's like jumping like side on off of walls and stuff. It's
I love him
fucking
even more than I
going
did.
for it. You're having trouble just like keeping track of him even. You've got a 22 inch evolve, so you can't you vaguely know where he's gone, where he's going. But you're like you just keep seeing like little flashes of goat between people as you're going through. So you occasionally you're seeing him jump off something and just like pop some amazing air. This is going to be he's difficult to catch definitely because you're much bigger and move much slower.
Well, if I've hunter's marked it, it's going to take it a lot harder to get away from me.
Yeah. So you guys are running through the marketplace then, are you?
Oh no, I'm not running. I'm watching everyone be idiots.
Well, it's only Grokash that's really being an idiot.
Well, Namia's walked off in a random direction. Nimriel's walked off in a random direction.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure it out. Well,
I'm like looking at Nimriel walk off like towards I guess. Are we at the top or the bottom? We're up at the top, wouldn't we? So the old octopus towards that sort of area.
Yeah, it's heading through the marketplace.
Wait, the old octopus is way off.
Yeah,
No, that's in the mage. That's in the mage district.
Yeah, I've got this way too small.
But we've just got there. It would either be Sugar Sigils or southwest of Penguin's Hide.
Mm.
That area, one of those.
Right,
two.
yeah. So,
So-
no, I'm saying you were walking east towards the old octopus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you probably, Ty, you're probably moving through that area there, like near Kazakhs.
Well, the second she stops hearing him, she's just going to stop going that way.
I don't know. How much is Grokash shouting? How noisy is he being?
It's pretty much the be all and end all right now.
It's his own concert. And Arcana that's the name of his band.
He's screaming at people to stop the goat, and he's telling Wolfie to be like, "Come on, what are you doing? Come back!"
Is Namir and Pook still with us, or have they walked off?
Namia's not staying for this. She's gone. She's headed straight for Penguin's Hides. Or Darius's Elixirs, I think, is the closest one.
God, this is so bad.
Okay, so whilst you guys are just making a mess in the market, as it were, let's catch up then with Pook and Namia. Where do you guys want to go to first? I mean, heading from the Blue Stallion to the market, Darius's Elixirs is Rashid's fine tunics would be the first place you'd come past.
Well, our things are being delivered, so we don't need to worry about that, right?
No, I'm just letting you know in terms of the stores you've been
Okay.
to. You got Rashid's fine tunics, and then basically at the end of that street is where you have Jenkins Jewelry. Then near to that would then be Darius's Elixirs. Between Darius's Elixirs and Pangolin's Hide is True Strikes. Then you got Pangolin's Hide, and
Gotcha.
somewhere in that space, as you haven't yet actually been there yet, but somewhere in that space is Silken Strength.
Given that we're going by the tunic place, she'll make the assumption that maybe he knows this Silken Strength place because it seems to be a tailoring thing. So she'll turn to Pook and say, well, why don't we stop off at Rashid's and ask if he knows where this Silken Strength place is?
Well, that sounds like a great idea to me.
Oops.
Sorry, someone at the door, one of those people who's, I'm just popping in for a minute, and then refused to leave.
You are amazing.
Yes.
Hang on, something else at the same time. Right. Okie dokie. Yeah, so you can head into Rashid's Rashid's fine tunics. Nadal is not behind the desk. Rashid is standing on the top of the desk. He's rearranging that little jewelry case that's just off to the side of the like the main till area, as it were.
Is he looking dapper as dapper as the last time?
Of course, and he's wearing a different suit as well. Of course.
Well, Darius. Well, shit. Well, Rashid, you're looking as dapper as the last time I saw you.
Ah, Namir, beautiful Namir, yes. And he'll flit over to you, take hold of your hand, and kiss the back of it. Always wonderful to see one with, graced with wonderful horns and such as well. Have not seen you for some time.
She smiles brightly at the compliment to her horns. Yes, we've had a bit of a week on downtime, but we're headed soon to our next group, our next company task.
Yes, well, it will please you to know that I've had the uniforms and garments that we wanted to have created for you. They have been. I'm kind of going a little bit French here as well, which is a tricky thing, and not what I'm intending to do. I was meant to be staying with that kind of like pseudo Slavic sort of accent was the plan, but that's gone a little bit wrong. Yes, my young Companion Rashid, he is Rashid. He is Rashid. Nadal is taking the your items to the guild hall as we speak.
Wonderful, thank you. The reason I stopped by, not only to see your lovely self, but we're looking for the silken strength.
Ah, is that Safina? I believe is it the girl, Serafina? I can't. I've not seen her in some time. I have not been out that way.
Well, I was actually wondering if you knew where it is. We encountered a supplier, and we were thinking about trying
Well, she
to get a
used to
discount.
have a shop in the main market area, but she ended up making quite a lot of money and got herself a good deal on a property on the edge of the Mages district. She's at the moment she's set up a couple doors down. Do you know Kazak, the dwarven trader?
I do not. She's never been there, and I don't think she'd remember.
I know Kazakhs.
Yes, just a couple doors down from there, on the southern corner of that street. She's set up right there. She's near enough to the market district that she is able to still keep in touch with those of us that she was friends with. I have seen her passing by every now and then. But she is a very good deal with the Mages district for custom designs for them.
Wonderful, Rashid. Thank you so much for the information.
Yeah, please do give her my love when you see her again.
She'll dip her head and then turn to head for Darius's.
Okie. So yeah, so it's only like another couple minutes on the street until you get to Darius's Elixirs, with the familiar sound of the bell as the door opens, and once more the familiar store.
She'll open the door. She'll likely knock as she opens the door for the bell, but she'll just stand in the doorway. She's not going to step inside until she sees his reaction.
So his head pokes out from like the little curtained off area at the back, where like he's got the that door behind his till to head towards obviously where his lab appears to be, and he's the classic thing of like the head poking out slightly angled backwards, like yes, right with you. Yes, you don't have that dwarf fellow with you.
She shakes her head and smiles.
Yes, yeah, you may come in. I'll be with you in just a moment. And there's some tinkling sound, not like broken glass, but tinkling sound of like metal items tapping against glass beakers and stuff. For just a few moments, and then he comes out from his office. To speak with you. Yes, are you feeling well? You did not come and see me in the end. I was expecting you to come and see me for an update to your ailment. I trust you're feeling much better now. I carried on doing my experiments, and I figured out that the effect would wear off sometime in the middle of the night.
I didn't realize I was able to come.
Oh no, I did. Maybe I wasn't clear, but I did say that you would be able to. I did ask you to come back by my store after that other business.
I
To get the
wasn't
full information.
necessarily thinking all that clearly either, but
That's
as
understandable.
She says that, she lifts a hand and she tugs on the ear he yanked off to demonstrate, and she'll say, "I'm all better now."
Good. I'm very glad to hear that. Do you require any help with anything at all?
I was wondering if I do recall that you, from what you said when we were in the shop, and then what happened at the guards post, that you'd been robbed. But I was wondering if you had any healing potions I could purchase.
Yes, I have some healing potions. I know I said I would try to do some form of deal or discount. I'm afraid at the moment my funds are incredibly tight. I don't know as I'd be able to do much for you at this time.
I understand. I wouldn't expect a discount based on my behavior.
Well, I do still feel very bad for my behaviour. Normally, healing potions would run to the measure of 50 gold pieces a potion, but bearing in mind, I can offer you at this time I can offer you a 10% discount on them, as I've recently managed to perfect my brew slightly to make it so that I can manufacture more from less resources.
Darius,
That would be
sorry
amazing.
to interrupt. Do you perchance have the reagents required for sale to make healing potions?
At the moment, I'm afraid not. I'm needing to use everything I have to try and get some more capital back behind me again. At the moment, everything that I have is going into actually making stock.
Very well.
Nemia will pull out her gold pouch, and she'll put down 150 gold, and she'll say, 3, please, sir.
Okay, so he'll head over to his the displays are
Or
off.
I guess he's giving her a discount, right? So that's
Yeah.
like, okay, so.
What he was going to do, he was going to just like leave the extra 15 gold on the thing. Yeah, so it's 135 gold, I think. Yeah, 135 gold. Yeah, so 135 gold will get you 3. So he'll head over to one of the multiple displays that he's got, opens it up with a key, pulls out 3 of the potions, wraps each one with a little twist of paper around it just to like protect the sides of it a little bit, and hands them over to you ready.
Thank you very much, Darius. I
You're
appreciate
very
it.
welcome. You're very welcome, my dear.
You need anything, Fook?
No, I've got reagents of my own, thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you. I hope I do. He disappears back into his office, and you once more hear the familiar sound of glass vials gently touching against each other as things are poured from one to another, and the hiss and pop of little oil Bunsen burner type things.
And did you say that? Well, we went to Penguin's Hide first last time, and then Jenkins Jewelers, I think, something like that.
Well, if you've headed from Rashid's to Darius's, you've technically gone past Jenkins Jewelers.
My bad, I misunderstood you earlier. She'll go back on the way back, and since I skipped it, just do a loop.
I mean, all these places are literally like they're within a couple minutes walk of each other. So if you want to chip about and go back and forth, you can do.
Okay. Yeah, let's just go back to Jenkins because I don't want her to forget.
Okie dokie. So you enter Jenkins Jewelers. Like many of the shops, there is the familiar jingle jangle of a different type of bell upon every door. And you can go in. There's assorted displays, all basically behind. Like modern jewelry shops. You've got they have like those armored glass things for it. So with them, it's like because they don't have that, they've got glass where it's crisscrossed with thin iron bars to like give it some. So you can still see easily enough, but it's clearly like big display strongbox type thing.
Mm-hmm. She'll call into the shop. Are my 2 favorite jewelers here?
There is a hustle, a bustle, a rumbling and a tumbling and all sorts of caterwauling as 2 very excitable small creatures come herring out from behind one of the desks. It's like, oh, it's the pretty lady. Yes, we like her. She's pretty.
Namia's just like huge smiles at this.
So it is, of course, Jenkins and Gadge, the excitable halfling, and a Svirfniblin gnome.
It's a pleasure to see you 2 again.
Oh, always lovely to see you, my dear. You see, I can still see you there with the wonderful gold in your horns. It's very pretty. You wanted us to make the chain for you, yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, the Gadge is finished making the chain now, but he's been very, very nervous. He's been waiting for you to come back because he's not sure what you wanted to do regarding how it was going to be fitted and stuff. Because I can't remember what we ended up deciding to do. Don't want to drill. Don't want to drill through the horns. Don't want to drill. Don't want to drill. Don't want to drill. Don't want to drill. But might look better.
The drilling.
I can't do the full Gadge voice because it will hurt my throat at the moment. I'm not feeling 100%.
Yeah, don't want to do that. No, drilling's fine. Do you have a place we can sit down and do this?
Yep. Coming. And Gadge runs over to you, and he's reaching up to grab your hand, and as he reaches, that's the moment where he seems to like realize that there's someone else in the shop as well. He like turns to look over his shoulder at Pook, like, hello.
Good day.
Hello.
Part of me thought he was going to put his finger up to communicate.
So he's like reached up to grab hold of Namia's hand, all excited, and then had that moment. It's like he seems completely lost now of what he should do.
Well, I mean, she's gonna take his hand. She's not gonna like reject.
Oh no! You have no choice. He has taken your hand. That's not the issue. But now he's just standing there like this confused little child, holding onto your hand as tightly as his little hands can. And sort of like just looking over at Pook, so like just staring at Pook, like half scared, half angry. Like,
Were you
so-
going
Why
to
is
show
she
me
angry?
something?
Why is she
Gage?
angry?
This is this unknown other person in the shop that came in with the pretty lady.
Last time I came in with Grocash,
Possessive.
but she'll say to Gad, "Were you going to show me something, Gage?"
Yes. And he tries to drag. Obviously, he can't really drag your movie that much, but he's trying to drag you towards the like it's like the back of the shop. There is like a visible work sort of area where there's like some very like miniaturized and much higher quality sort of like smithing tools and stuff. So you know, like in terms of like there is like a little anvil type thing and vices and all sorts of other stuff. There's a miniaturized forge which seems to be more not so much for smelting as much as for very carefully heating weaker metals. So you get the feeling this is like, you know, that this is where they do all of their work as well, and he'll lead you over into that direction, and ask you to basically to stand near where that area is, like it's like against a counter there. When he disappears around the side of the counter, it becomes apparent that the floor on the other side of the counter is much higher up than the floor of the shop. Because he's like eye level with you now. He's like, hello.
She blinks because it's a slightly different view than normal.
So, yeah, you've got the what do you want us to do?
Well, she lifts a hand and points it kind of at the tips of her horns and says, "There's really no feeling," and she kind of drags from the tip of the horns down almost to the base. It's just that I can, feel if she'll grab the horn and kind of tug it to the side. I can feel pressure like that, but if you were to drill, it would be there. I wouldn't feel any pain.
Okay, right, okay, right, okay, okay, right, okay, right, okay. Got it. And he just disappears again for half a second, and he comes back and he's got the classic manual sort of drill that they use for woodwork. He's got one of those, much smaller, obviously, because it's the right sort of size for a gnome instead.
Can I get some eye protection, maybe? Because she's done this before. She knows what happens.
He'll just like look down at the drill, and then he was like, "I won't drill your eye."
The most
All right,
disturbing
Gadge.
thing ever said.
Can I see the chain first before you start drilling?
Oh yeah, silly me. And he again disappears for a moment, comes back, and he's basically the best way I can describe what is made for you is essentially it's like someone's taken a classic spider web and then just turned it into jewelry.
Well, that's freaking beautiful. She geeks out. She's like, "Oh, this is amazing! I love it! I love it! I love it!"
He's he's got hold of it, and he's holding it up so you can see that it's everything is like how it would like hang between your horns. He goes like, yeah, I tried to do as best I could. I don't think it's very good. I can probably do better next time for you though.
Well, I love it, Gadge, and I think you will do an amazing job the next time I come and commission a piece.
Thank you, 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 thank you. So I need to fix it on 3 points down each side, and then it'll be out like that. And I made something else because I was bored, so I made something else for you to go with it too. But I want you to make sure the chain fits properly first, because otherwise it might not work.
She'll say she'll look back at Pook and she'll say, "I think this is probably going to take a minute. I don't know what you want to do."
I'm happy to wait around. We both need to visit the rope makers anyway.
Creep.
So the he'll
Block or what?
he'll no so Gadge doesn't really pay any attention to that at all. So Gadge is like he's still hunting up the chain, and then he looks over to like the wall, and there you see there's like a few different stools of different heights. They're each about like 2 or 3 inches different height in each one. And so he looks over at the stools, looks at you, stools. Just, if you grab that stool, the fourth one, that one there, with the red legs on the stool, and then sit down on that one, with your back to the counter, and then that'll be all I need.
Done and done.
Okay. So when you sit down, basically, you realize at that point that your head is then basically at perfect height along the counter for him to be able to do any work that he needs to do if he is
Before
standing
he
on the
gets
counter.
started, because he's so excitable, she can't resist. She's gonna lightly tickle him with her tail.
Stop it! I make a mess!
Then she immediately stops.
Okay, so it takes him not very long at all. We're talking just like a number of a matter of minutes for him to drill through on your horns each side. And basically what he's doing is where like the shape of the horn is, he's going through just like only through a little bit, so you can go not like through the center of the horn. But it's just like along the side of it, so that there's it'll affix to it that way. He gets some pieces of silver, like some little silver rods. Feeds them through each of the pieces through the holes. Lines the web up, the webbing up for it, and then uses some pliers to bend everything around to fix them in place like that. And all in all, it takes him, like, from start to finish, it takes him about 15 minutes to fit it. So where he'd been really, really excitable and jumping about all over the place and really, really happy and joyous at seeing you and the idea of being able to complete this project, when it comes to actually doing it, that's it. He just toggles and he's just, like, completely focused and just gets the job done. With smoothly, professionally. Doesn't talk at all throughout the process of doing it. And he's not bouncing around, he's not excited, he's just absolutely 100% keyed into the job that he's doing. Gadge is an existing character I've used for a number of things in the past. He's a lot of fun.
Well, Mia definitely likes him. I assume there's a mirror in the shop.
Yes, there is. There's a number of mirrors around.
She's kind of watching. If she can see what he's doing, she's kind of watching, fascinated.
Yeah. So there's a number of mirrors around. You can catch him in the reflections on the of the display cabinets and stuff as well. And then when he's done, he heads off a little bit further down the counter, turns this wooden thing around, and on the other side of that is a mirror, so you can see what he's finished. He goes, "No, all finished now. All finished. All finished. All finished. All finished. All finished."
Is he still holding the drill or anything sharp?
No. He's not holding any of the tools or anything at all now. Everything has been put back away again.
She's basically gonna pick him up in a big bear hug. Not so much like pick him up, not trying to be condescending, but just like, oh, I'm overjoyed kind of thing.
Yep. He doesn't say anything at all. And when you put him down, he just sort of like just stands there, eyes glazed over completely.
Poor bastard.
Thank you so much, Gage. I appreciate it. And she'll give him a kiss on the cheek. And
He'll just slowly pitch over backwards as you do.
she'll try to catch him. Gage, wake up. Pay attention.
Jenkins will sort of like look over this point and like, oh, why'd you do that? I won't get any work out of him for the week now.
But he did such a good job.
Yeah, he did.
I'm
He
so
always
excited.
does do such a good job. This happened. The same thing happened like this 3 weeks ago when one of the pretty noble ladies, he made a lovely ring for her and she gave him a kiss on the forehead, and that's it. He was done. 48 hours, no work, nothing.
You got to break production cost.
Well, I suppose you'll just have to attach a sign to his work apron. No kissing allowed.
Oh dear.
She'll make sure Gage
hang on,
is
hang on,
sitting.
hang on. I've got an idea. So this might work for him because I know what he's like. And he jogs over to the back. He's just been like watching him work as well because he's always happy to see his little friend doing hard at work. He jogs over to the forge area. And gets up onto the counter as well. Just leans close to Gadget's ear and you can hear what he whispers. He whispers in his ear. He says, "Gadge, she's going to leave without her present." As it, Gaz just like bolt upright. He's sitting upright. He's like, "Spider!" Disappears for half a second behind the counter again somewhere, and that's it. And he's back. He runs straight up to Namia and basically just dives at her essentially, but like to go to like dive past her, and ever so daintily and gently just manages to get something positioned just in the middle of the web, and then lands on his back on the floor, just completely spread eagle out again, just unconscious again.
Gage, what? And she goes to get him up off the floor. What the hell was that?
He's just completely limp. He goes up. Well, at least he managed to get the present then. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. I'll make him some mushroom stew and he'll be okay.
She's like holding the little fella in her arms, looking at Jenkins like, is he really gonna be okay? That was.
Yeah. He'll be fine.
Where can I put him?
Just put him on the counter. The smell of the forge will make him happy. He'll be okay.
Doesn't he have a bed I can put him in?
Well, yeah, but I'm not taking you up to his bedroom. That's weird. I mean, like this is what he's like when you've given him a kiss on the cheek. He will die if he sees you in his bedroom.
She just very gently lays him on the counter.
Poor little Gadge.
By
the way, this was all scripted for him as well. If you showed any form of affection to him at the end of this, he doesn't do well with female characters. Bless him, Gadge doesn't.
She'll lightly pat him on the cheek, but leave him on the counter, and then she'll look at the mirror to see what the present was.
Perched to one side of the web, positioned like it's essentially in the corner of the web, is a wonderful. It's quite a small. It's only about like 1.5 inches long, little jeweled little spider.
Like the look in her face, she is absolutely smitten. She gives the unconscious Gadge another kiss on the cheek.
And he dies.
What a
He
fucking
doesn't. He doesn't. No, it'll be no. Yeah, so he just like he seems to just like murmur happily in his sleep. Spiders.
Thank you so much, Jenkins. Thank you, Gadge.
Poor little Gadge. He's not had a good life as Gadge. He's not. He's struggling in many of his past lives. The many past lives of Gadge. He one point he was a snake oil salesman. For one of the players in the Sunday game, he had a brief cameo in the session that he was running, where he basically it was Harry. He was still new to DMing, and he'd made a mistake with regards to money being given out to the party. And what was happening is, instead of like saying, "Oh, here's some money for the party," and then making note of it in party loot, everyone was making note of it individually. So if he gave 5 gold to the party, everyone wrote down that they'd received 5 gold. And it was like a 7-man party, so they had approximately 7 times as much cash as they were meant to have.
Whoops.
So, yeah, a snake oil salesman came along and managed to sell them an awful lot of shit, including some rubidium coins, which were cited as being the main way of the main form of currency for the next continent over, which was the next place they were going to be travelling to. Who knows anything about science? Particularly chemistry. Rubidium, how does that work with water?
There are no problems with water whatsoever. It goes absolutely fine. You should, in fact, store them in water at all times.
Rubidium is much like sodium and a few
Bang.
other. Yeah, it has it. I think it's actually the second most reactive of the metals. Later on in their next session, they got rained on. So that was fun for them.
I mean, like, I'm fairly sure you have to store it under oil because it will.
You do, yeah, you have to store it. You have to store it in paraffin. It's the small amounts of moisture in air is enough to make it react. So it has to be stored in paraffin. I think it's sodium and one other one. I think there's 6 metals that do it. I specifically looked up what the metals were and found the one that sounded like the most fantastical. And then had it so that they had a pouch of coins that were available to be purchased, as well as there was an ephemeral potion as well, which one of the players thought was a potion of the ethereal, which is 2 entirely different things. I planned out some horrible things for this. There's an ephemeral potion, basically a potion that doesn't exist. So it was just an empty bottle, and it set them back 220 gold for an empty bottle. This is all done at the behest of Harry as the DM. He knew he'd screwed up and he needed to get some cash out of the hands of his players to balance it again, and I just offered to help. Gadge, the snake oil salesman. He also has featured previously as a little spirit of an alchemist, trapped in with his soul trapped in a knife.
Oh.
He's seen some stuff.
He is a fun little guy, and I've even played him as a rogue at one point, which was quite entertaining. Yeah, so that's Gadge that Namir has half killed with affection.
Good.
So, are you all done, or do you want to finish him off?
No.
Not like that. Stop
are-
it!
One finish him
Oh,
off.
that's
Stop it!
Just the worst.
So she turns to Pook and she points at her horns and she's got this gleeful expression on her face, and then she specifically points at the spider and she says, Grogash is afraid of spiders. And she's got this, like, evil grin on her face.
Is he? Is Grogash afraid of spiders? Oh, I completely forgot about that.
I did
Yes,
not.
please.
Namia did not.
I don't think he's going to be worried about a fake spider.
You say that now.
Yes, Amir, because we all know that pranks have gone so well so far.
She suddenly,
That
like, her
awkward
total
moment when
demeanor
Pook is
and
the voice of
expression
reason.
just her entire, like, all the joy is just sucked out of her. She looks properly chastised. She walks past Pook outside.
Dear. Yep. That awkward moment when Pook is the voice of reason. To be fair, Pook is always the voice of reason. He's just not always the voice of logic. He's the voice of Pook logic, certainly.
Which is infallible.
I think the dice would beg to differ. Where do you want to go to next?
Penguin's Hide.
Into the Penguin's Hide. Yep. So yeah, it's a few minutes down the road, and you're there in the somewhat more industrial area of the market district, with the Penguin's Hide. With if you haven't been there before, the familiar sight of a dwarf hunched over a forge and a halfling sitting at his like draftsman's desk sort of thing. Actually, just looking at the time, we're at 10 o'clock now, so I think this might probably be a good time to take a little break so we can refresh our drinks and attend to anything that he's attending to. So, what do you think, guys? 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Yeah, sounds
Yeah,
good.
sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yep.
All right, I'll do is I'll put it in for 5 minutes.
Okay.
So we shall see you shortly. And we're back. Yes, so, before the break, that little 5-minute break we had there, Nemea and Pook were heading to Panglin's Hide. And like I said, there we have that. If having people who've been there before, the familiar sight of a dwarf working at a forge and a halfling seemingly working at his design station, his leatherworking design station. I was actually thinking, is it a halfling or do I make him a gnome? Let's double check this.
I do not remember. Apparently, I didn't write it.
No, he's a gnome. He's a gnome. Yes, a gnome, not a halfling. Yeah. The halfling was yes. Yes. So there's a gnome. Basically, those big like fancy design easel type things that are done at an angle that tends to be used by like draftsmen and that sort of stuff, and architects a lot of the time. They also get used for various things. He's got one of those, and it seems to be like a high chair that he's sitting in, a very, very high stool, because he's a gnome, so it needs to actually have a chair high enough that he can sit there and do what he's doing with his designs. He's sort of like paying incredibly close attention to something that he's designing on his desk at the moment.
Excuse me, sir.
In the background, you've got there's the clanging sound of a forge at work. Let me see if I actually have a background for that.
Excuse me, sir.
No, he doesn't seem to be responding. Yeah, go.
Okay. So it's just she can only see him. Well, he's not clanging, is he? Or
No, he's not the
you
one
just have
clanging.
that
There is a dwarf working at the forge as well. He's not really paying any more attention to anything than what he's doing. The work he's on. He's shaping what appears to be a pauldron. He's shaping at the moment.
Okay. She'll turn to Pook and she'll say, "Can you make some noise? Well, don't you have a spell that can make some noise? Can you just like make a loud pop or something? Something out of the ordinary?"
I mean, I certainly could, but he doesn't seem to be in the mood for talking.
Well, he's got a customer. She'll walk over to the small fellow and she'll go ahead and repeat herself. "Excuse me, sir."
Yes,
But she's in close distance now.
his head snaps up. He's got a piece of paper stuck to his face, and he's still got a queer in his hands. Says, "Yeah, everything's fine. The design will be ready at the end of the week." What?
Yes, sir. I'm with the Silver Talons Adventuring Guild. I have an order in, and I'd like to see if there's been any progress.
So he just points. You goes like, "Yep, tail, armoring, yep, Hugh."
She waves her tail.
He just picks up like a little block of wood and just wangs it at the dwarf who's working on the forge. It just like cocks off the back of the dwarf's head. He just turns around and goes like, "What? Lady tail armor thing."
She waves her tail at the dwarf.
All right, yeah, okay, yeah, that's ready. Lassie, if you just wait over there in the corner by that mannequin, I'll be out with I'll come and fit it for you in just a second. And he puts his tools down, and then he heads out back to the storage area. Comes back out a few moments later with this little a bundle wrapped up in a burlap sack sort of thing. And it comes over to you, reaches into it, and basically pulls out what, to all intents and purposes, looks like a metal snake.
She's hyped.
So,
Wow.
so he
She's
flips.
getting jewelry. She's getting her tail. She's
So-
like, yes.
He shows like the base of it. So it's like, hey, so these little bits here, these clip onto your belts. They can also clip onto your armor as well, depending what your armor's like. Chainmail's easiest because they're like basically like lobster hook sort of things. So,
She'll motion to the chainmail she's wearing.
so this will clip onto that, and then he flips it over a bit so you can see. And then running down the length of it here, I've put these 6-inch intervals. You've got these little straps here. They're purposely kept a little bit loose, just buckles and stuff. All you got to do is just tighten them up around your tail for your own comfort level. And down at the very end of it, and he moves down to the end of it. At the very end of it here, has got a cap that'll actually go around, and like the tip of your tail goes into it, and then you got a buckle at the base of it here, so that should then keep it so that it stays proper to your tail as well. Now, just do be careful that you don't grow. This thing won't stretch.
She kind of gets a quizzical look, but then she nods. I'm pretty sure I'm done growing.
Well, I don't know. You're a tiefling, ain't you? Your rules are different for every one of you.
She gets a look on her face and says, "We keep growing."
Well, I don't know. I've heard of tieflings before, where some of them have got wings, some where they've got big horns, little horns, hooves, regular feet. Somewhere where they've got big old toothy stuff like orcs, and somewhere they you take a look at them, you wouldn't pick them apart from some boring human or something.
That's true. I guess I can't say I've met many others like myself.
And in case you're wondering, that is actually true of the tieflings in D&D. They're depending on exactly
I know.
where it goes. There's all sorts of levels. They're fantastic.
Yeah,
One of the reasons why they're
considered
so much fun to
doing
play.
winging on her, but then I decided against it.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why there's so much fun to play.
Yar.
So much variety. So, yes, he'll help you fit it to your armor.
She's having a hard time keeping her tail still and not like wiggling around, but she's doing.
Lassie,
doing
if you
a
don't
decent
hold
job.
still, I will put your tail into my vice so that it does hold still, so I can fit it.
She immediately like goes completely rigid, head to toe.
Good girl. Right then. And he finishes fitting it.
And then she's immediately checking
You
it out.
can
seeing how it
tell
moves.
that Master Jas has very little time for shenanigans.
How does it move? Like, can she still do kind of the
Yep.
articulated stuff she does?
Absolutely fine, no problems or anything at all. There is the way that basically all it is essentially it's just segments along the top of your tail, and then underneath
Right.
it there's just like the leather straps every
She's got
6
a metal
inches. So
centipede on her tail.
essentially, but the way that the segments are linked into each other and they articulate, there's like a little bit of give on on lateral motion for twist on it as well. So no matter how you're moving your tail, it's still able to adjust around it.
Freaking sweet. She is very hyped, and she doesn't go to hug this guy, but she looks like she wants to, and she says,
Yeah,
"Thank you so much."
he's. You don't even need to do an insight roll to know this. He's not a hugger.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Thank you very much, Hugh. That's great work. I'm very pleased.
You're welcome. This was already paid for, I think, wasn't it? Like you guys paid this all up front.
Yeah, I
So-
paid everything I got in advance.
Yeah, I think
Or everything I ordered.
everyone did. They paid up all their orders, and they got they had receipts and invoices made out of them, didn't they? Remember? Yeah.
She dips her head. Thank you again. I'm sure we'll see you in the future.
Well, so long as it's more work for me.
And then she turns to Pook, and she the gleeful expression's back on her face. And then she sees Pook, and then she's like,
Fucking hell.
Buzz Killington.
yeah, he stepped all over her happiness earlier.
That's some
Suits
good
you.
scrimshaw.
If that was a reference, I didn't get it at all.
Oh, I didn't get it either. The only Scrimshaw thing I can remember at the moment is as a character from one of the
It's a
Oh,
Buzz Killington reference.
I don't remember that episode.
Mm-hmm.
I do not remember that. I do not remember that Buzz Killington that Buzz Killington
It's
reference.
the episode where he mentions Buzz Killington.
There's about 7 episodes where they mention Buzz Killington.
Well, this is a Buzz Killington.
Because there's also there's also the one where there's the joke about why was the captain always drunk whenever he travelled on the boat, because he always travelled on the port side.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Hey, not my joke.
Fucking hell.
But that is another Buzz Killington reference. But yes, so you are done, one assumes, then in the Pangolins hide.
Yeah, she'll turn to Pook and say, "Let's get you a robe."
Wonderful. Let's make way. I know the way to Kazakhs, and then it should be a simple matter to locate the... What was the shop called?
Silken strength.
Silken Strength. Shouldn't be difficult to find from there.
I'm really not looking forward to you guys going to Silken Strength, because when I was writing the various shop owners, I don't know why I wrote what I did.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to go with it.
Maybe it's because she deals with weird people like Drogo Brolo all the time, and his mother. Well, I guess
Yeah.
technically he never dealt with her, but
Yeah.
Careful, she might try to listen.
Yeah, so without too much of an issue, you find your way to Kazakhs, and then from there, you remember you were told it was on the southern corner of the street that Kazakhs is on, and you find Silken Strength, where there is a sign, and the sign out the front of Silken Strength is it's an 8-armed robe, where each pair of sleeves is like a different color and design. And there is a stylized 8-armed wizard within them, and each hand has got like a different symbol for the different schools of magic.
Shall we?
this looks like your kind of place.
A bit too ostentatious for me.
She just follows.
Okay, so I'll walk in.
Okay.
What do I see?
Well, inside the shop, basically, essentially, it's split in half. The shop, it's about the actual the shop floor area, as it were. It's only about a 20-foot square sort of space, and it's split in half, pretty much in line with the doors. Hey, Snow. And the right hand side as you go in is the walls are just covered in like these about 5 foot tall by a couple of foot wide posters of these varying different designs of robes. Some of them are very clearly it is a magical robe that is being depicted. Some of them it's just a very highly styled robe, but it's made clear in the annotations on each of them that it's very easy because of how they're made and what they're made from. It's very easy to then bind magic to them. And on the left hand side of the shop is it's like in the back left corner of it as you're looking at it. There is a couple of changing rooms, and then all around the rest of like the wall. is these racks and mannequins with with various robes on them. There's very clearly that these are not any of the magical robes that are depicted on the designs on the right hand side of the shop. And then basically directly opposite the door is like a little like till area.
Okay, is there anyone at that area?
There is a. Fuck! Do I do this to myself? There is a tall, beautiful, very lithe wood elf female dressed in a glamorous and just revealing enough set of robes.
You did a really good job of sounding like an automated telephone service then. There is a wood elf.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. I loved it. I enjoyed it very much. I will approach the wood elf. Good day.
Do you want to play mummies and daddies? No, she doesn't say that.
Wow.
Trauma.
Yes.
It was just, yeah, so it's just like, oh, hello, you lovely couple there. Somewhat mismatched. I imagine that his height is useful, my dear.
Just to be herself, Namia will wrap her tail around Pook's shoulder.
Quite. I believe I've come to the right place, or at least I hope so. If I wish to have a robe made.
Well, certainly. Is it for your... And she like takes a look over at Namir, and is very obviously eyeing her up and down. Is it for your companion?
Namia just
No.
smirks.
It is for myself.
Well, I'm sure that we can arrange something. Would you like to come along with me and be measured? Or would you like to take a look at the designs first?
If I were to get you a bolt of spider silk, do you believe you could weave it into a robe for me?
So when you say about that, this is like her face sort of sours from it. It's like, where would one find such a thing in this city?
I already have one.
Works with such material has to be declared due to the nature of its usual method of being obtained. Is it certified?
Yes, I believe so.
Very well then. If you do, you have it with you?
I don't think I do actually. Thinking about it, just as a question to the DM or the players, who has it?
We don't actually
don't
have a
know.
bolt of silk.
I thought we
No.
did.
No, it was the idea was that we had quote unquote connections with the Brodlow family, but we don't actually have a bolt of silk. We tried to get paid in silk, but Drogo's a
Douche.
yeah. Here's a few things.
We have connections with the Drogo family who may well supply us with such a bolt.
Ah, right. I see where the confusion may have come from. No, the Breddo family they do deal in silks, very fine silks, and other I've forgotten what the word is now.
Where's?
No, textiles. That's what it was. And other forms of fine textiles. However, the no, spider silk, you would most likely you would need to either go and obtain it yourself, and then by some manner, or have some of the hunters go out and get it for you. It is considered an exotic and not contraband, but restricted product. I can obtain small items for small amounts of it for which to be infused into a design, but having an entire robe made out of spider silk, that would be, well, if nothing else, prohibitively expensive. Though not beyond my abilities, of course.
Namia
Oh, yeah.
says, I can't believe I trusted something that dumbass said. And she kind of face palms as she looks at Pook.
Well, both you and I are fools, it seems. Well, I would imagine the most expensive part of the process, of course, not trying to delineate your skill in any way, would be obtaining the silk itself.
Well, I suppose it depends on how one plans to obtain it. If one is of it's like it takes another look at you. If one is of a certain level of power and skill, then it should not be too difficult to obtain it from the creatures. Though obviously obtaining enough of it to be to be useful might be tricksy.
If we were to obtain it, how much would it cost for you to fashion a robe from it?
Well, it depends on what sort of design you wanted to go in for, as well as to how much of it I would need. What sort
What's
of
on my
robe are
options?
you looking for? I mean, well, do you want a robe that has any form of innate magical ability already tied to it? I mean, there are a number of known designs, some that are reverse engineered from legendary items that have been known to exist within the world. There is a design that I've been working on. Let me flicking through the DMG again to find the list of all the fucking robes.
Presuming I had one made, could it be enchanted after the fact?
Well, yes, if it is of a high enough standard and imbued with correctly, then it can always have another ability tied to it. I will give you an example. She gestures to the wall with the designs on it. You see there's that dark robe there with the white design around the neck. That is a robe of stars, and such as that would be able to imbue one with a certain level of protection, as well as a number of other assistance. There's also, and she points to one next to. There's also a robe of scintillating colours that is able to create light where there is darkness. There is a number of known designs, and there are other things that can be created along the way, and depending on what one wishes for, there can be all sorts of things. I mean, not that I think you would need it, but you could even have robes with glamours attached to them to make it so that you can appear as another shape.
Fascinating, I'm sure. I'll be sure to return once I've acquired the material. How much would it cost for you just to make a standard robe of spider silk with no innate enchantments, but able to enchant at a later?
A robe imbued with a spider silk weave to make it so that magic can be added to it would cost you normally in the region of about about 1,000 gold.
I thought as much. Well, while this has been illuminating, I will bid you farewell.
Do hope you enjoy the rest of your day, young man.
It can only get better from here. And I'll turn to leave.
Mia will follow, and once they get outside, she'll say, "I'm sorry. I'm an idiot."
Don't worry, Namir. We were both somehow drawn into that. It wasn't just you.
I guess. I mean, how else does the family have money? None of them do anything, and I mean, Drogo certainly didn't do anything.
As far as I can tell, they no longer do anything but live off the proceeds of a business they don't really run themselves anymore.
They must. And she shrugs, and then she kind of glances back at her tail and
Well,
skips happily.
After that productive day, well, at least you've obtained that wonderful piece of armor there, which, by the way, does very much suit you.
Well, thank you very much, and she preens.
I believe
It's going to be very, very cold when it goes in Pook's ear next. It's made of metal.
She's gonna have to stop.
Ruptures his eardrum.
Just kind of knocking him off his feet.
Unless you have anything else you wish to do, I believe we should make preparations to leave Neverwinter for the guild.
She shakes her head. No, I'm ready.
So if you guys are going to be heading back to the Blue Stallion, one assumes? Unless you have anything else you want to go? Cool. Then let's catch up with the frickin'... Oh my god.
Go chase. Dun, 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 dun.
You know, all I was going to say is if she couldn't hear him anymore, she's just going to go back to getting on with what she was
Well,
doing.
I'm fairly sure that she's still going to be able to hear him because Grokash is quite loud.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, he's an orc drill sergeant.
Yeah, if ever there's a time to yell. What a boy.
Yeah, boy.
You can't see it, but that was the exact face I was making.
Alright, so, shall I go? What's up?
That's why it's up to you guys, really. Is he still? Are we still running through the market like the Marx Brothers, for God's sakes?
Yeah, well, Grokash would just keep, like, trying to get someone to stop the goat, or he'd just continue until it was no, like, literally dark and...
I'm envisioning the three of you as being like Groucho, Chico, and Harpo, to be honest.
No, I'm not really.
That is what I'm
keeping an eye
seeing.
on things.
You're Groucho.
Yeah, I think Roland Hammer is just... Because he's hunter's marked, so he doesn't need to run, he knows where to go, he's just walking and following the havoc that I'm making.
Mm.
And Nimriel is probably wandered off somewhere.
Well,
Well,
she
Nimril
actually
is-
doesn't know what's happening. She could just hear the yelling, so she
Yeah.
actually doesn't know what the importance of this noise is.
So, can I have? I'm just thinking because the amount of time spent running through it. Can I get another survival check from Harpo? I mean Grokash.
How is the little thing not fucking tuck it out?
Have you seen how goats go, mate? I think with a 14, you're probably just about losing its trail as running, trying to. It's not like it's leaving footprints, but occasionally leaving hoof prints on like the chest of someone as it goes past them. I imagine, but yeah, it's
Well, as I lose track, then I'll just walk around yelling for him.
Have you seen my
Aimlessly
pet goat?
wander.
He's called Wolf.
Yeah, have you seen my pet goat? Essentially, yeah, he
I'm a bird.
bounces around like a crazy motherfucker.
Obviously, Roland Hammer is still aware of what's going on. Nimriel is having no clue as to what's going on really at this point. I think
She's giving up.
giving up.
Yeah, she's going Penguin side.
She's going to Pangolin side. Okay.
Yeah, fuck that.
What were you going to Pangolin side for?
All,
You have
all
some
she
armor,
wanted to
maybe.
ask was just to see if the armor had been sent off. If not, could she get it there and then? Kind of cold with no armor on.
Hmm.
'Cause she's one of the-
So get into Pangolin side. What were you having, mate? Are you having some scale mail made, weren't it?
Scale mill, yeah.
Scale mail, yeah. Yeah. So when you get into it, when you get into Pangolin's hide, then fuck, I forgot the gnome's name now. This thing, characters don't get visited on a regular enough basis.
Wipe the dust off the nameplate. Oh, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Warren Steppen, that's it. Warren Steppen. Yes. So Warren Steppen, the gnome who's doing the leather work, because basically what we're doing for scale mail is essentially is it's scales of metal put onto a leather surcoat. He's the one who's had the most impact on the design. So yeah, he is ready. But he's not so he's ready when you come in. But when he is awake now when you come in, and he does recognise you. And
Oh, that guy.
yeah. Is that? Oh, hello. We were actually about to pack everything up to be sent off to the guild hall. Do you want your armor now instead?
If it would not be any trouble, please.
Yeah,
It's going
yeah,
to
no
be a
problem.
cold journey.
You should just head over by the mannequins over there, and I'll bring it out, and we'll get it. We'll make sure it's everything's all fitting properly. It should be all good because we measured it up all properly first, so everything should be fine. We'll make sure you're happy with the weight of it. And he disappears out back. He comes back a few minutes later. Yeah, he come back out a few minutes later with a bundle, which is it's quite clearly like the leather armor, like literally folded up around itself with the sleeve. So yeah, he comes back out. He's like struggling a little bit with the weight of it, but hands it up to you. He goes, like, "Hey, put that on then, and see what you think." And it fits properly. There's no issues with it at all. He makes a couple minor adjustments to some of the straps that are around the side and back to make it so that it fits your form more completely. There you go. How's that then?
She's just kind of like breathing it in for a moment now, like getting used to the weight because it's actually been a while. This is
Yeah,
fantastic.
it is quite weighty.
She's like gripping her hands and like lifting her arms up and just looking at herself. Thank you very much. I needed this. I had no armor at all.
Yeah, you did. You know, for someone who's in the adventuring life, normally people carrying swords normally have armor as well. I did wonder what was going on with you, but wasn't really going to ask any questions.
She looks at her right arm and sort of just rubs the usual spot, still kind of like questioning that. So, I actually lost my arm while I was gone. You wouldn't believe.
He's like he just looks at you, looks at your arm, like, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't believe it.
Because she just laughs. Like, yeah, I get it. And she's gonna do like a half bow, half curtsies, like an in-between thing, and
Snort,
step back.
Snort just saying skin counts as armor.
Well, it did, Snarl, until it fucking didn't.
It was
Okay? It did until it looked like mozzarella cheese, okay?
that awkward moment where it's like, oh no, my armor's run out of durability. Oh, that's my skin.
That's fucking mozzarella cheese. Man. With the fucking tomato puree underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the armor. I'll be taking my leave now.
Yes, you're welcome. Let us know if you ever need any adjustments or anything to it at all.
Absolutely.
So if you want to adjust your character sheet so that it has your scale mail on it.
Hell yeah. Finally. People are going to start looking at her funny now that she actually has something on. Fuck.
So, Grokash and Rollenhammer are still on a wild goat chase. Well, Rollenhammer knows what's going on with it. He can track it anywhere because of the whole. Well, knows he can track it anywhere. He gets advantage on the checks for it because of having the thing. So, let's see how well Rollenhammer's keeping track of this goat, shall we? So let's have an advantage on your survival check. Hoping for that double one. Roll snake eyes. Roll snake eyes on a d20.
Oh,
Yes.
What was the other number? Just so out of my own curiosity, it was a 10. Right, okay. Yep. So Rollenhammer, you can still track it through the city. It's as you're going through, it's no longer in the market district. It's heading like towards the Majors district now, or through the Majors districts. Seems to be. Basically, if you've ever played Dead by Daylight, you're getting like that hunter vision of seeing like the little red splotches around everywhere of where it's gone.
fascinating.
Shall I? Can I see Grokash wailing about behind him?
Well,
Yeah,
he sort of ran off ahead of you, and you were walking along, and then the goat was significantly then further ahead of Grokash. So you can still see Grokash blundering around ahead of you, and hear him shouting and blundering around ahead of you.
Can I make an insight check to see if I can head the goat off?
Yeah, go and give us an insight check then. That shouldn't have been should have been rolled twice. That's weird. Insight 9.
That is weird.
Okay, so with an insight of 9, you have a bit of a think, and you think, yeah, little goat springs around really quick, and then there's me with my long strider. Put that on as well. Yeah, I can probably head it off somewhere in the middle of the Mage's district.
So that's what I'm gonna do. But try and keep some concentration towards the goat.
So, what is your plan? How are you going to go head the goat off?
Is there more than one way to head?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So if I see it like when
Well, I mean,
it's
at the minute,
around-
you're essentially at the moment you and Grokash are like somewhere in like that area of the market district, and as far as you know, the goat, from what you can tell, seems to be like heading out towards that sort of way, like heading through the major district. So you figure that if you was to properly chip through the city with like around that sort of area, maybe you could head it off somewhere in the middle of the major district.
Yeah, I'll go with that. And is that right round the back of Kazakhs?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll try and head it off around the back of Kazakhs.
Okay. So yeah, so you sprint through the city. You get to where Kazakhs is. Why don't you give me another advantaged survival check? Did anyone hear the goat just then?
Yep.
It's like it knows.
Yeah, boy.
Yep. So you may have misjudged where the goat was going. With your when you had a bit of an insight on that, thinking like, where's it going to go? Where's it going to go? You may have misjudged where you thought it was going to go. So you know for a fact that it's heading out to the farmland. You can do another insight roll to see where you think it's going from that point, if you'd like.
I can see something like I can see a pattern emerging here.
Yep, so insight roll. Again, you crit there, good on that. You figure it's probably heading back to whatever farm it was raised on.
What the fuck? If it already knew that, why was I training it? Shit.
I mean, if you're thinking like, if you're just thinking to yourself,
super
okay, so if it's running through the city and it's like
To be fair,
through that, it's
to be fair,
probably...
because it's a baby, I wouldn't have thought it had known where it came from. But
Well, I mean,
if that's-
the market's still where it's been sold from. That it had to have come from, so it wasn't going to be born on the market stall.
no, but I wouldn't have thought it knew even roughly where it would have lived.
That,
But
that's so
I'm gonna
incredible.
I'm gonna make haste to its original.
In case
form.
anyone's wondering, the moment when Grokash rolled that crit 1 on the animal handling was when it was... I'd already decided from that point, it's chipping back to the farm. So it's just a case of... like, that was always where it was going to end up going back to. But yeah, so that's what your insight is telling you there with a crit success on your insight. You've got to the back of Kazakhs thinking like, okay, if he's going to follow around the paths that are in the city, then it's probably going to, I'll be able to go this way, be able to cut it off, and then when you've got there, you realise that it's not there. Having a think about it and thinking, why would it follow the paths in the city? Why would the goat follow the paths in the city if it's running?
How does it know where to go? It's so... This is... Oh my god, I want it even more.
Wow.
All right, if you think about it, as you follow the path, it's pretty much a straight shot from the market area is just following. I'm just gonna freehand it. It is literally just sort of following that path. That's it's not a complicated path.
No, that's what I mean. I'm like, but as the crow flies, I would try and beat it to the gate.
You've got a slightly more complicated route because of the way you came around to. So you're trying to get from there then up to the gate. So you've got a... Well, actually, no, you're right, because you've just go up that way now. You're probably not going to beat it there.
With your tiny dwarf legs.
Even with Longstrider, I don't think it would work.
Then I'm going to wait at the gate for Grokash.
Grokash, where are you going?
Go. So I was just walking around offering money for being like, has anyone seen a goat? Point me in the direction of the goat.
Yeah, goats have got a speed of 40 feet anyway, so it's even with you having Longstrider active, it's going to be ever so slightly faster than you.
But it's a
so yeah,
baby goat.
Yes, it is a baby goat.
Just asking people if they've seen it, and then going in whichever direction they tell me, essentially. So do you want me to do I don't know what that would be. What would that be? Persuade? No. I don't know what that would come down to, honestly.
So what are we trying to do? You're trying to persuade people to...
We'll come under investigation.
Yeah, just asking people if they've seen a little goat and which direction it went if they have.
Yeah, go on, give us a persuasion roll. See what comes up. Yeah, so people are just like, what? Yeah, I mean, people are pointing out that there are stalls around where people are selling goats and that, and then there's other people where just as you've gone battering past them and knocked them down to the ground, you're like, have you seen my goat? And they're just like, fuck off. And various other similar things.
Cunt.
Fuck off, you creep.
I mean, if you're sprinting through through a town and you knock someone over and then shout and then shout down at them, "Where's my goat?" They're going to be a little bit confused. But yeah, so ask around as well. Yeah, most people they're just they've got no idea. They've got no clue kind of what you're talking about, or they're just too busy to really be giving you any time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I guess I'll wander off in the... So what did you say? There's a guy selling goats is the most accurate fucking information I've been given. Well, most information I've been given so far. I guess.
Yeah, you can think ahead that way, guys.
And so I don't know at this point. I never knew that Roland Hammer was following me, so I can't follow him. So I'll just stick around, repeating that until everyone's gone, I guess, until I either get information that's useful or nightfall comes. But I mean, as it's time sensitive, I don't imagine it's
Let it go.
worth anything.
Yeah, Roland Hammer's only going to wait there for 5 minutes. Where the hell is it?
Alright,
And
okay,
then just gonna go
so
back.
Grokesh is heading back to the market stall where he bought them from, yeah?
Yeah. Wait. So was Rokesh meant to be aware that Roland Hammer was there?
Well, did Roland Hammer tell him?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I
Okay.
didn't.
No,
No.
I didn't think so. I just didn't know why he had that expectation of
He thinks he's alone
Rokesh will come.
in
Kind
the
of.
world. Nobody
Yeah.
here. but
No,
No, Roland
I
Hammer.
seem to
He's
follow this. I seem to follow this goat pretty quickly. Why
Yeah.
can't the idiot who owns him?
yeah.
do the
I was
same?
going to say.
okay.
I think Roland Hammer's just assuming that Grokesh is smarter than your average bear.
Yeah. Ha, wrong. But yeah, okay. That makes sense then. No, I'll just stick around the market area.
Okay, so what are you waiting for in the market area? Are you thinking that the goat's going to reappear there, or are we asking around?
Yeah.
for...
I'll go to the stall that I was directed to, I guess.
Okay. So yeah, so there's the person there doesn't really seem to recognise you at all. You get the feeling it's because they end up seeing a lot of people. But again, it's the same as I had before. Multiple cages filled with chickens and pigs and goats and all sorts of little things.
So is this the same guy that I bought it off to begin with?
Yep.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm just gonna inspect the cages to see if Goatee is in the. Oh, Wolf is in there. Goatee, lol.
Goatee the wolf. Wait, that's not right.
So, hello, young
Please.
man. How can I help you?
I'm looking for my pet goat. And I'm just
Right.
gonna continue inspecting.
Why would your pet goat be here?
He ran away, and I thought he came this way. People are useless, motherfuckers. Wouldn't tell me anything, despite me asking so politely.
Well, I mean, why? What? I'm just confused. Why would a goat be? I mean, I sell the goats from my farm. Why would a goat come to here?
What? I don't know. I don't know. I thought he would have gone home to me. Evidently, not the case.
Well,
Have you seen a little goat?
I'll just wait. He comes away for a moment, ends up speaking to a customer who wants to buy some chickens, and he comes back and goes, right, okay, sorry, right. Did you buy him off me? I vaguely
Yes.
recollect by selling some goats to some people. I think they bought a family of goats.
Did they buy chickens?
Yes.
Yes. That was
yes.
me.
That's right. Okay, right. How did you lose my goat? Your goat.
I didn't.
Sorry.
I didn't lose. Okay, so I was training him for battle, right? The battle preparedness.
What, the big
course
one?
involved
You
being
train
able to run away.
Well,
and
the big one, yeah. You're training a lot as like a mount for that dwarf chap you were running with or something.
No. No, he just accompanies me on my adventures. So, the battle training
the
course
dwarf?
involved.
Or
No, the goat.
The goat. Why are you taking a goat with? Why are you
Well,
taking a baby? What? I'm confused. What are you doing with this baby goat?
Well, as I'm explaining, I was training him for battle. So,
It's a baby goat.
yeah, and you have to learn sometime. Do you know how old I was when I first saw my first battlefield?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Were you also raised as an animal designed to be eaten? It's a baby goat. What's wrong with you? Sicko.
Well, nothing.
And he walks away from you at
Oh
that
my
point.
God.
How fucking rude.
Godcash is struggling with Neverwinter.
I hate this place.
So you-
Becoming a. It's crazy.
Creepers
It's crazy.
to the choir, man.
I don't know why you decided the best thing you could do was explain to the gentleman that you bought the goat from that you were trying to train a baby goat for battle. I don't know
If he
why
let
that
me
was you.
If he let me goddamn finish my sentences, he would have clearly learned that the battle training program involved running away from battle, just staying alive, just figuring it out.
I mean, you
Coming back when it was safe.
you can shout that after him. I'll let you shout that after him. It's like, well, okay, all right, okay, that makes a bit more sense. So when you say something like battle training, that sounds violent. That sounds like you're trying to train it for battle. That's just
No,
weird.
it's to survive battle.
No,
obviously.
that makes a bit more
into
sense. If you've got, if it's like a companion creature and then battle starts and you want to, that makes a bit more sense. You should be careful what you say. Be careful what you say. You'll confuse people.
So I show him my little satchel that I've made and how I've attempted to make a quick release knot. And being like, see, so I pull on this and he falls down and he can run off to safety.
I see what you're doing, yeah.
But before that, you've got to train them to return. Otherwise, you get lost in the woods and die alone. Sad.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm guessing you made sure that he knows where's considered home first, right?
So Gregory at this point, because he's getting fairly worked up, just kind of stops and like gazes at the sky. It's just like, now there's a thought. Huh. Huh.
Right, okay. Well, I'm fairly sure I know where he's going to be then. It's going to take. I mean, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be able to bring him back to you until tomorrow at the earliest. Where are you
Wait,
staying
no,
in the
you're
city?
worried. So when he says I can't bring him back, at that point, Grokash is going to like jump towards him and be like, "You know where he is? You have my Wolfie."
Well, no, I don't have him, but I know a number of places where he's likely to have gone to if he's looking
Alright,
to be
so-
running home. Are you where are you staying in the city?
Yeah, I'm staying at the fucking the inn, the Blue Stallion Inn.
Right. Okay. So if you, I'll be here early in the morning, and everything. So I'm going to be heading back to my farm later tonight. So what I'll do is I'll bring him to you first thing in the morning. And I'll make sure he's got like a decent little harness around him or something, so you don't end up losing him. Get him on a leash or something like that.
Oh my god! So at this point, so I'm carrying the 15 gold pieces that I was given before.
I'm carrying 15 money.
So I like take out the pouch and like shove it in his hands.
Is
I'm
it-
like, I've got 50 more, and if you
What-
bring me my Wolfie, it's yours.
Well, I'm not going to say no, but yeah, okay, thank you.
And then just like I'm just gonna like and just like chuffedly walk back to the inn.
Does he realise the obvious?
Quiet.
What?
It's
No,
fine.
nothing.
Carry
It's
on.
cool.
Okay. And
Why are you saying
it is
that?
about
Oh,
to be.
actually-
It is about to be 11 o'clock, which means that we are going to be stopping here and basically this is essentially is the end of the party Sunday. So next session we'll be going over what they're going to be doing for basically when they get back to the guild hall. They're going to have a week of like prep time. And so whilst we've done over the course of the last number of sessions, we've done a week of them having some downtime in Neverwinter, where they're getting basically we go over each day separately. Sometimes a day even taking more than one session. So they can do various different actions for it. The week of prep time is going to be much more fluid and quicker. So it's a case like, how is a character planning on spending their next, this week of preparation time? Are they going to be some more in magical study? Are they going to be training with the combat? Is there something else they're looking at doing for in some way of preparing some further progression for their character in some way? So that's what next session is going to be. So thank you everybody for joining us, and tomorrow we'll be with the Sunday Wolves, and they are already in their examination dungeon. They've already had their preparation week, and we'll be continuing with them and seeing how well they managed to survive the trials in front of them. So thank you very much for joining us, and we say now bye-bye to the YouTube people before we go and find somebody to host.
Adios.
Bye-bye, YouTube people.
Bye, YouTube
Bye-bye.
people.
Ta-ta!